everyone, welcome to episode 7 of my women's basketball podcast, Anastasia Scouting Report. Okay, so this episode is going to be titled something about Valentine's Day hoops. We know that South Carolina and LSU faced off, got the 1v1 tournament to talk about, Angels Return, and a lot of other stuff. Okay, and so if you are new here, I always timestamp these so you can go to whatever section is most pertinent to you. And then also I do like visual aids like stats and stuff as well for the visual viewers. Okay. So let's get started this week. So talking about UConn first, as I always do. So they had 2 games since I made my last podcast. And so the first one we're talking about is them facing off against Marquette. Okay, ultimately getting the win is 71-56. Okay, and so looking at the stats for this one, AZ Flood played 38 minutes in this one, had 25 points, 10 for 20 shooting, 5 of 8 from the 3-point line, no free throws attempted, which every game she always should have some free throws because there's always calls that she doesn't get, but it is what it is. She had 2 rebounds in this one, no assists, 1 turnover, 4 steal, and 1 block, okay? AZ doing her thing in this one, okay? She was the one who really kept us in the first half of the game. And just making shots all over the place. I love that she's getting into that mid-range pull-up more this year, as I stated before. When you hit 5 threes in a game as well, driving, and also just what she's giving you on the defensive end, you know, I think is so impactful and doesn't always show up on the stat sheet as well. So I really thought AZ did her big one in this game. Okay, so shout out to AZ Flood. And so I have this saved, but here was a stat from AZ, her recent games. But it says AZ Flood's rolling right now over her last 5 games. She's averaging 22.6 points, 3.4 assists, 3.2 steals, and 3.8 made threes. With today's 25-point performance, she's now posted 3 25-point games in that stretch. Okay, so we love it, okay? And I got an AZ Flood shirt on for the occasion, but we seeded, okay? So always a joy. Then we go on to Baby Goat Sarah Strong. So she played 27 minutes, 22 points, 9 for 20 shooting, 1 of 4 from the 3, 3 of 4 free throw, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 turnover, 3 steals, and 3 blocks. Okay, in the beginning of the game, she was like, it wasn't her best, and then she finally started to find her groove like in the 3rd quarter. Okay, and so yeah, that was really huge for us. Okay. So, yeah. Then we go on to Sarah Williams. 10 minutes played, had 2 points, and 1 of 2 shooting, no threes, no free throw, 5 rebound, no assist, 1 turnover, no steal, and 1 block, okay? So, wasn't great. Only played 10 minutes, so there's that. Then we go on to Ashlyn Shea, 34 minutes played. She had 6 points, 3 for 9 shooting, 0-2 from the 3, no free throw, 4 rebound, no assist, 2 turnover, 2 steal, and 1 block, okay? So, y'all know how I feel about Ashlyn Shea. We go on to KK Arnold, 30 minutes played, 10 points, 3 for 4 shooting, and she had no threes, 4 for 4 free throws. She had 6 rebounds, 9 assists, 1 turnover, 2 steal, and no blocks. So this was a bounce back because the game before did not play well, okay? So I'll give her credit for the assist, but still, like I said, just not a real point guard, and there's so much to be left, you know, to desire, I guess, like in terms of the facilitation and all that, like just the way she plays the point guard position. And like I said, better playing off the basketball and off the bench, I think, but it was one of her better games. So I will say those things, okay? And then we look at the bench. Not much to talk about. Yana, 0 points. Jana, 16 minutes played, 4 points, 2 for 2 shooting, no threes, no free throws, 3 rebound, 1 assist, 2 turnover, no steal, and no block, okay? And so, yeah, I think that she had some good stuff in the minutes that she did play, always fighting hard for the rebounds, able to score a little bit, and she sets screens, which is huge. So, like I said, going to be big in March whenever facing off against UCLA, potentially, and Lauren Betts. So, hopefully, Gino really keeps wrapping up her minutes, but I thought she played well in what she did have. Then we go on to K9. So, she played 18 minutes in this one, had 2 points for you, 1 for 4 shooting, 0-2 from the 3, no free throw, 2 rebounds. She had 3 assists, 1 turnover, 1 steal, and no block, okay? Not her finest hour, okay? And so there's that. We go to Ali Zabel, 25 minutes played, no points, 0-2 shooting, 0-1 from the 3, no free throw. She had 1 rebound, 3 assists, no turnover, 1 steal, and no block. I just feel like she's not consistent. I don't know. The lineups that Gino be dealing with her, I don't get it, you know? So that's what I'm going to say. Marquette, I'll just read the points. Skylar, 14, Haley Holly, 7, Jaden, 11, Kennedy, 4 points, Lee Volker, 15, Jada, 2, Bridget, 0, and Jordan had 3, okay? And so then we go on to the advanced stats for this game. So scoring by quarter, first quarter 13-10, second quarter 23-14, third quarter 21-20, and fourth quarter 14-12. Ultimately, UConn wins, like I said, 71-56, okay? And then we look at leaders for points, rebounds, and assists. So AZ with 25 points, KK Arnold with 6 rebounds, and KK Arnold with 9 assists. For Marquette, Lee Volker with 15 points, Mason with 8 rebounds, and Mason with 5 assists. Advanced stats for this one. So from the field, UConn 29 for 64, 45%, 6 of 17 from 3. Not great. We're usually a better 3-point shooting team than that. And then you see 35%, not AZ jersey number. I got AZ jersey right here. Then we go into the free throws, 7 for 8, which is going to be 88%. And then the rebounds, 29 total rebounds, always could use more, and we were out rebounded in this game, which is very shameful, okay? And then, so it's going to be 8 offensive rebounds and 21 defensive rebounds. You had 17 assists in this one, 13 steals, 7 block, 10 total turnovers in this one, 28 points off of turnovers, 18 fast breaker transition points, 42 points in the paint, 11 foul, no tech, largely was 21, and percent led was 82. And then we go on to Marquette, 21 for 56 from the field, which is going to be 38%, 5 of 20 from the 3, 25%, 9 of 10 from the free throw line, 90%, 42 total rebounds in this one, 14 offensive, 28 defensive, 13 assists, 5 steal, 4 blocks, 22 total turnovers, 11 points off of turnovers, 11 fast breaker transition points, 28 points in the paint, and then 10 fouls committed in this one, and no techs, largely was 5, and percent led was going to be 8. So overall takeaways in this one, I was irritated. I was hot, okay? Because Marquette outplayed us from the jump. Just very aggressive, being able to score, obviously, and then defense, I thought that they were doing some good stuff, and then we couldn't seem to score, okay? And I thought that the defense just wasn't as good as it has been in previous games this season, so it just, you're missing easy stuff and just being late to help and all that stuff. Like I said, AZ single-handedly kept us in the game in the beginning. Sarah had a huge third quarter, which was really helpful. I should have said more in Sarah's section, but I don't know, I guess I didn't think of stuff to say, but the third quarter she was dominating. Just know that. She really came alive, and we needed every single bucket in that third. And then I just felt like the offense got stagnant multiple times in this game. Overall, still having to master the art of making the extra pass for sure, okay? And so there might have been a nice pass or two, but yeah, the offense still not great. Just a hot mess, not enough rebounds, okay? Still didn't have Blanca for this one. Like, I just really can't believe we were in a dogfight with Marquette, and you can tell Gino just not trusting the team because AZ played 38 minutes in a Big East game. It just got to a point, should look a lot better than this, tired of the slow starts and everything. And so, yeah, now it's when I kind of processed it, but it hurt my soul. But it gets worse because now we had the game against Villanova, okay? So UConn gets another win, 83-69, continuing on that undefeated streak, okay? So AZ Fudd in this one, she played 36 minutes for you, had 25 points, 10 for 18 shooting, 4 of 6 from the 3, 101 free throws, 3 rebound, 4 assists, 5 turnovers. She had 2 steal and no block, okay? And so overall takeaways on AC's performance, just another balanced attack. Like I said, scoring at all 3 levels for you. Such great defense as well. Turnover, I can't praise that, but, you know, we'll be back to regular stuff and more efficient stuff the next game and everything. But I just really appreciate how aggressive that AZ has been offensively. Really, I think since the Tennessee game, you know, that's really where it started. And just, you know, doing her thing. So I think that that's been huge. Also, you see the leadership. There was like a clip from this game where she was like talking to them in the huddle and everything. So just to see how she's grown with that, and even in the interviews, they would ask her like, how have, you know, your time at UConn like changed you and everything, and just saying like being more confident in herself basically, and just she's learned a lot and standing up for herself more. And I think you see that. So I thought that AZ played well in this game. Of course, just so many great shots. I think this was the one where she had that floater. I don't even know how she did it. Like, that was insane. Okay, and so that was really cool. 4 threes in this game. Her defense is always going to come through. And now I'm remembering, I don't understand why Gino did not have her guarding Jasmine Bosco in this game, okay? AZ, one of our best defender. You could argue the best defender on the team. So I just did not understand why that wasn't her defensive assignment the whole game. She guarded her a little bit, but I just don't know why that wasn't her assignment. Gino and his defensive assignments, I don't get it. Because KK was getting cooked this whole game, okay? You don't believe me? Please watch the tape, okay? But great as always. And then this is something else I had saved just about AZ stats during February. And so I will throw that on the screen, but 27 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 4 steal, 25 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 3 steals, 17 point, 1 rebound, and 4 assists, 3 steals, 19 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 25 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 block, 25 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steal, okay? Now the light is flickering all day. I gotta change this light. I forget every week. But Fudd is averaging 23 points, 3 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 3 steal, and 3.8 3-point makes in the month of February, okay? So February has been very good to AZ Fudd. And then it's important to note, it was in one of the recent games, but now AZ Fudd surpasses Bria Hartley, I believe, for most 3-point makes all time in UConn history, okay? So now she's at 260. And so we'll see where she's at the end of the season, but it's a really great accomplishment. And then also she has reached 1,500 career points at UConn, okay? So that was big. The media definitely has been weird towards AZ this season, okay? And I feel like, you know, people like me, like, we've noticed it and stuff, and we spoke up about it, because even someone from the UConn media and everything, they were basically just saying like, oh, like AC's so good, consistent, we don't really know what to say about her. So I'm just like, it's weird. It's weird. Like multiple times, even the announcers during one of the games talking about it wasn't a dominant 25. Like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Like AC's just not getting the shine and appreciation that she deserves and everything. And I just think that it's weird. And I just think that it's weird. And then this whole conversation, like people blow it out to be something that it's not. You know, I just think AZ deserves her credit. That's all. That's all. You know, so I will say that Sarah Strong played 32 minutes, had 21 points, 9 for 13 shooting this one, 2 of 4 from the 3, 1 of 2 free throw, 12 rebound, a double-double. Thank you. And she had 4 assists, 2 turnover, 5 steals, and 3 blocks. Okay, so Sarah played really well in this one. You know, in the beginning, she was trying to find her groove, and then she got 2 fouls back-to-back. I thought he should have benched her after she got her 3rd foul, I believe, because you don't want her to pick up another one because you only have 5 fouls in college. And then she caught another one, and then he put her on the bench. And she didn't play a whole lot of the 3rd quarter in this one. And then when she came back in the 4th, I thought that she was just being aggressive offensively, getting to the rim, attacking there, setting up some nice plays and stuff. And just, it was some really nice stuff from Sarah when you see 5 steals and 3 blocks on defense and then offensively. So I think it was a really good game for her. You know, I will say, I don't understand why he's playing her on the perimeter instead of in the paint more. Like she a power forward. I don't know. I get she's trying to do more guard stuff this year and everything. But I would assume that's a Gino thing more, if anything. But Sarah, best sophomore in the country, okay? So she really did her thing in this one. She really found a groove, okay? So I was happy to see that. Sarah Williams, 12 minutes played, 8 points, 2 for 5 shooting, no threes, 4 or 5 free throws. She had 2 rebounds, no assists, 1 turnover, 1 steal, and 1 block, okay? And so I said this in my review, but we got to have a conversation about Sarah Williams. It just hasn't been what we would have hoped this year, you know, and she had good parts at times in this game, but just times getting beat on defense, missing easy shots that should be made and everything as well. So I don't know. I want Jana to start. That's how I feel, okay? Then we go into Ashlyn Shade, 37 minutes played, 13 points, 5 for 11 shooting, 1 of 3 from the 3, 2 of 2 free throw, 6 rebound, 5 assists, 1 turnover, 1 steal, and no block, okay? The shot selection for Ashlyn Shade, okay? She takes some bad shots, so that's one thing. And then Ashlyn Shade, it's better when the shot selection is limited, because once she sees one go in, then she just starts taking a bunch of dumb shots. So it's just that, getting beat on defense and stuff. Like I said, I think when you limit the shots, and then she focuses more on the facilitating, because she can facilitate, and, you know, rebound and all that other stuff, I think it's better. So that's kind of my takeaways on Ashlyn Shade. Then we're going to KK Arnold, 29 minutes played, 4 points, 1 for 3 shooting, and no threes, 2 for 6 from the free throw line, no rebounds in this one. She had 6 assists though, 1 turnover, 1 steal, and no block, okay? Only 4 points, I just need more. Like I said, it's having to have that balance and everything. It's having to have that balance. So, like I already said, you know, I want K9 to start, and I just keep saying the same stuff about KK. You guys know how I feel. But, I don't know, wasn't great. You know, let's put it that way, okay? And then we go on to the bench. So Blanca makes her return in this one. So she played 18 minutes. She had 4 points, 2 for 4 shooting. She had no threes, no free throw, 1 rebound, no assists, 4 turnovers. I wasn't pleased by that. She did have 4 steals though and no blocks. So yeah, Blanca missed 6 games, I believe. Okay. And so that was unfortunate. Obviously, I believe she was dealing with a shoulder injury. And so she makes a return, and I think she just has to get acclimated, because whenever she first started playing, like in the preseason and in the regular season, she was turning over the ball a lot, and she would make some really cool plays, and then she would make some other ones where it's like, we can't do those things going too fast in transition. And so I think being out all that time, it's just, she has to get reacclimated. So I think once she gets reacclimated, she'll be fine. I don't know how many games that is going to take. So that's kind of my takeaways. You know, I'll give her some grace because she's been out 6 games. Jana, 13 minutes, 3 points, no field goals attempted, no 3 of 4 from the free throw line though. She had 5 rebounds, no assists, 1 turnover, no steal, and no block. So had some good stuff for us. Like I said, I would like to see her start. We go on to K9, 10 minutes played, no point, 0-2 from the field, and she had no threes, no free throw, no rebound, 1 assist, 3 turnovers, no steal, and no block. Again, not K9's finest hour for sure. I kind of felt like he played with her minutes in this game and everything. He got to stop playing with her minutes, okay? Like, K9 got to be the point guard. Like, when we going into March Madness and all this stuff, like I already said. And so I didn't appreciate that. I don't know. He got to get consistent with that, you know, and just give her minutes with the starters and stuff. And then Isabel, 14 minutes played, 5 points, 2 for 3 shooting, and 1 of 2 from the 3-point line, no free throw, 1 rebound, no assist, no turnover, no steal, and 1 block. Okay, so that was Isabel. Now just reading the points for Villanova, okay? So Bryn, 5 points, Danae Carter, 21 points, Kennedy, 9 points, Jasmine Boss got 26 points. She was 8 for 22 though. So in the beginning, she was more so killing us, and then at the end, she kind of just went cold. And then we're going to Kelsey Jones, 0 points. Brooke, 3 points. Kylie, 0 points. MD, 0 points. Danny, 5 points. And Rianne, I believe, 0 points. Okay. And then we continue on with some more stats. So scoring by quarter, 19 to 22, 18 to 18, 26 to 12, and then 20 to 17 in the fourth. Ultimately, UConn wins 83-69. Okay. Now we get on the leaders, points, rebounds, and assists. AZ Flood, 25 points. Sarah Strong, 12 rebounds. And KK Arnold, 5 assists. Jasmine Bosco had 26 points, she had 9 rebounds, and she had 7 assists. Okay, continuing on with the field goal metrics. So UConn was 31 of 59 from the field, 53%, 8 of 15 from the three-point line, 53%, and then 13 of 20 from the free throw line, 65%. 32 total rebounds, still need more. Okay. So it's going to be 8 offensive and 24 defensive, 20 assists, 14 steal, 5 block, 18 total turnovers, which is just too many. And then 28 points off of turnovers, 10 fast break or transition points, 36 points in the paint, 15 foul, no tech, largest lead was 21, and percent level was 53. And then we go into Villanova, 24 for 53 from the field, 45%, 11 to 24 from the three, 46%, 10 to 15 from the free throw line, 67%. We got the 6-7, and then 30 total rebounds in this one, 7 offensive, 23 defensive, 16 assists, 10 steals, 7 block, 26 total turnover, 12 points off of turnovers, 8 fast break or transition points, 20 points in the paint, 15 foul, no tech, largest lead was 5, and percent led was 41. Okay, and so overall takeaways on this one, a whole dogfight with Villanova and Marquette consecutively is absolutely insane. Okay, so that just irritates me. And I agree with people that Gino got soft. Like, he's just not coaching them as hard as he used to, okay? Because Stewie just went on AZ's podcast recently and was just talking about some of the punishments she had to do. Like, she didn't box out and get a rebound, and he made her, like, run around a whole lot and everything. And just, like, other stuff that they did. And there's this one video, I think it's from, like, 2016, when they were getting ready for the national championship and just trying to prepare for that and everything. Because I think they won like 3 in a row at that point. Because when Stu's tenure, they won 4. And so they were training with like some Navy SEALs or something like that. The point is, he used to coach them harder, okay? And I remember I was watching the Sweet 16 on one of my TikTok lives that I did. And he literally yelled at Ashlyn Shade because she took a bad shot, okay? Like, he not coaching that hard no more. He not coaching that hard no more. And Stu even asked, like, do you guys get like yelled at or punished like that? Basically, and she was like, no, and you can tell. There's just fundamental things that this team has to do that aren't getting done. And like with Gino too, like there was literally a point in this game, he was standing at the scores table with his legs crossed. He did not get serious until the end of the second quarter, which is when he started yelling at them, and then he said something to them at halftime. But why does it take so long? Like, at this rate in the season, the offense should look a lot better than it does. And this is the point that it gets to. In a dogfight in the Big East game, and this is when you decide to start to care. And that's what frustrates me about Gino. And like I said before, we're not allowed to criticize Gino because all the national championships. But he not coaching that great this year. If we're going to keep it above actually watching the games, multiple problems that bleed and bleed and bleed into other games. But when you say that, people don't want to hear it. But yeah, he got soft. So he got to lock in, because when we're getting into the Big East tournament and we're getting into the actual tournament, he needs to get his rotation set. He needs to set a hierarchy, and he needs to get the players to focus on the little things like rebounding and the defense as well, and just things like that, setting more screens, being able to pass into the post. The post entry passing has been bad this year, and I've been telling you guys that. So yeah, that was irritating me. Like I said, I didn't get why AZ's defensive assignment wasn't Jasmine Bosco. Tired of the slow starts with this team, as mentioned earlier. You start slow, you turn over the basketball and make mistakes against a good team, you are going to lose. It's the same thing. And just the turnovers, like, that's ridiculous. You can't keep turning over the ball like that. Having to make better passes. I'm tired of the traveling, the out of bounds, passing into traffic, just making better decisions with that, okay? And so, yeah, starting slow, turning it over, couldn't make any shots in the beginning. Defense wasn't good enough, need more rebounds, bad rotations continuously that I do not understand. Like I said, Blanca back is going to help us, and bad shot selections too. KK not a real point guard, and she's in a bad stretch. K9 needs to be the point guard. Need more Jana minutes. Just unacceptable. That's the notes. I'm just going through all the notes that I wrote down. So just a lot of stuff that I've already been saying. And so just having to be better, okay? So I think I kind of like laid out what I want to see UConn do, but it'll be interesting to see, you know, whenever I'm recording this, senior night is going to be happening. We have another Big East game, you know, ahead of us. So we'll see, but I don't know. I just feel like he really needs to do something for March, okay? Like, it's been proven overall that the starting lineup is not effective, and it continually is stagnant, and the offense, it just shouldn't look like this. And I kind of feel like when it matters, if he needs to bench somebody in big games, we saw him do it in the Tennessee game with KK National. I feel like he'll do that, but don't put the players in that position. So that's where it gets me. So I'm just frustrated with UConn. Because you can't be serious with what I was watching. Like, those games were very painful to me, So shout out to Serenese because they holding it down and everything, but he shouldn't make it into a position where so much is in their hands every single game. Like, if he just had a hierarchy and everybody like did their part and wasn't cutting so many corners and like being lazy on defense, it wouldn't be this way. So I don't know. People say it gets like this February every single year. And I mean, I guess this is my first full year watching UConn through the entire season. Okay, so I'm seeing how everything is in real time. Last year, I started watching around the tournament. Okay, I think it was the Sweet 16. That was the first game that like I really watched for real. So seeing this in real time, I don't know. I saw that Coach of the Year, the finals list, and I saw him on it. I said, no, Michael Jordan. No, Michael Jordan. So yeah, I keep repeating myself. We'll see what happens come March, but I'm not pleased. So we'll see what happens next week. Now, continuing on, we had game of the week and possibly game of the year in South Carolina taking on LSU. South Carolina gets a dub 79-72, okay? And so advanced stats for this one, I'll talk about South Carolina first, okay? So Joyce Edwards played 33 minutes, had 10 points, 4 of 11 shooting, no threes attempted in this one at 2 for 2 from the free throw line, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 3 turnover, 2 steal, and no block, okay? I think I talked about this in a little bit on my preview on my TikTok account whenever I was live and somebody asked me about it, but Joyce Edwards do not play well in the big games. It's like she completely forgets how to play basketball. She takes bad shots, and then the defense that they play on her is part of that, but just better decision making. I just did not like her shot selection in this game, and so yeah, I don't know, it just wasn't great for her. Okay, so you just expect more because she'd be good in all those other games, but you have to show up when it matters, and so wasn't great, let's put it that way, okay? And then we look at Medina Okot. So 31 minutes played, she had 12 points, 4 for 10 shooting, and she had no threes attempted in this one, 4-4 from the free throw line, 17 rebounds, okay? And she had 1 assist, no turnover, 1 steal, and 1 block, okay? I knew she was going to be huge. That's why I mentioned her in the preview, okay? Because if you watch the South Carolina games, she'd be balling for real, okay? She'd be scoring in the post, getting the rebounds, having some good defense for you, and that's exactly what she did, okay? She hit a critical shot in the end, I believe, in this one. It was an assist that Raven got to her, if I'm remembering that correctly, but came up huge in so many ways for the South Carolina team. So I knew that Okot was going to do her big one, and did. Okay, so shout out to Medina Okot. And then we go on to Tessa Johnson, Demon. 37 minutes played, 21 points, 8 for 13 shooting, 4 or 5 for the 3, 1 free throw, 2 rebound, 1 assist, 1 turnover, no steal, and 1 block, okay? I always say this when talking about Tessa, but I really bought stock in her before the season started. I don't remember which game that I saw, but I just knew she was a demon, and I knew that she was going to have a good season, so I always have to bring that up. But doing her thing, okay? She hit 4 threes in this game. Okay, and most of her scoring and her damage was done in the first half. Even Kim was saying, who can guard Tessa, okay? Because she was lighting them up. She was hitting some deep threes in this game for you. And just really doing her thing. And she hit some tough layups and some other shots in this game too. And so, yeah, had a block on defense. Like, Tessa is just a great player. It's just a great player who doesn't get her love for what she's doing at South Carolina. And I made a video saying that I would like her services in Stores, Connecticut next year. And here go Gamecock FC. It's not going to happen. Mind you, I said that in the video. Let somebody dream. No MLK. But Tessa, yeah, she was so good in this game, and they really needed her, and she showed up, okay? And then we go on to Tanaya Latson, 28 minutes, and she had 8 points, 4 of 10 shooting, 0-2 for a 3, no free throw, 2 rebound, 1 assist, 1 turnover, no steal, and no block. Just not a great performance, I'm really excited to do my draft analysis on all the prospects and everything, at least like the lottery players and stuff. I still have to get that done, so I'll dig into more tape and I'll give some more advanced thoughts on it, but it wasn't great, I was expecting more from Tanaya Latson in this game, okay? And we go on to Raven Johnson, 36 minutes played, 19 points, 4 for 9 shooting, 3 of 5 from the 3, 8 of 10 free throws, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 turnovers. I hate the turnovers. She had 4 steals and 1 block. Overall, I thought that she played well. Okay, hit some open shots in this game for you. Had some good defense in this game. So definitely I'm going to give Raven her credit in this game for her contributions, okay? And then we go into the bench. Tornabees didn't really play much. She had 3 minutes, 2 points, but it was like a nice mini she hit. That was cash. So I'll give her credit for that. Dowda, 4 minutes played, no points. She had 1 rebound and 1 block. So there's that. McKeer, 18 minutes played, 5 points, 2 of 7 shooting, 1 of 3 from the 3, no free throw, 2 rebound, 1 assist, no turnover, no steal, and 2 block. McDowell, 9 minutes, 2 points. So yeah, that was what you got from the bench, okay? And then we go on to LSU, okay? So Flau'jae played 32 minutes in this game. She had 21 points, 9 of 18 shooting, 1 of 3 from the 3, 2 of 6 free throw, 8 rebound, 1 assist, 1 turnover, 1 steal, and 1 block, okay? I talked about how in order to even have a chance in this game, you're going to need the guards to show up for LSU, at least 2 of them. And Flau'jae was really the only one who was keeping LSU in the game, actually watching it. And this is the kind of performance that I want to see Flau'jae have all the time, okay? Scoring in a variety of ways. I think she had a Euro step in this game. She had a 3, just getting to the rim, getting crafty with it, finding ways to get herself open. So I thought that she looked really confident offensively, hitting some big shots for LSU in this game, okay? And then she's kind of getting clowned right now, basically, because she missed 2 free throws at the end, and then she also missed a 3 at the end that was drawn up for her and everything. And so, yeah, those things, you know, those could have been pendulum swinging moments. I did say that and everything, but I wouldn't necessarily say that it's her fault that they lost the game, you know. And Paige said this after the Final Four with Aaliyah Edwards' illegal screen, but she was basically saying that all the games don't come down to one play at the end. Like, if you watch so many games, you're thinking, oh, this was a bad shot here, this was a rebound you could have got there, and just like other things. So it doesn't really necessarily go down to that, and I thought she did way more positive than negative in this game and everything. So I will say that. I'll talk about what her mom said later and also something else because I want to get through this game before I get into that. I don't want to get on a huge tangent, but she played well. She played well. Okay, so I'm going to give Flau'jae her flowers for this one because, like I said, it would have been nice for a great performance. I just was not expecting it because she historically has not shown up in big games and everything. So, yeah. Then we go on to Amina Joyner. So she played 32 minutes, had 8 points, 4 for 8 shooting, no threes, 0-1 from the free throw line, 12 rebound in this one for you, 1 assist, no turnover, no steal, and 1 block. So, We go on to Zakiya Johnson, 19 minutes played, 7 points, 3 for 6 shooting. She had no threes, 1 or 2 free throw, 3 rebound, 1 assist, no turnover, no steal, no block. Had some decent stuff, and I don't know why she only played 19 minutes, but that's in Kim's hands. And then we're going to Jada Richard, 30 minutes played. She had 7 points, 1 for 10 shooting, 0-2 from the 3, 5 or 6 from the free throw line, 2 rebound, 3 assists, 1 turnover, no steal, and no block. This feels like the Texas game. She kept forcing it and taking bad shots in this game. I just don't even know what was going on. Multiple times she was open, couldn't seem to cash in. So she just did not play well in this game, and I was really frustrated, okay? Michaela Williams, 34 minutes played, 11 points, 5 for 12 shooting, 1 of 3 from the 3, no free throw, 3 rebound, 2 assists, 3 turnover, no steal, and no block. Had a couple nice shots for you, but you're just looking at it and only 11 points, you know, you would expect more. You would expect more and everything, and it was kind of just a disappearing act going on. So, yeah, part of that was the defense. I think Raven was the one defending her and putting some good stuff on the tape for sure, but, yeah, expecting more. So, I guess you put it that way. We look at the bench. Grace Knox, 16 minutes played. She had 4 points, 2 of 3 from the field, no free throw, 0-2 from the free throw line. She had 4 rebound, 1 assist, no turnover, no steal, and 1 block. So only 4 points for 16 minutes. It gets to a point. Then we go on to Kate Koval, 6 minutes, 2 points. She didn't attempt any shots in this one. No threes because she didn't attempt any shots. 2 free throw, 1 rebound. She had no assist, 1 turnover, no steal, no block. Y'all know Kate Koval. I'm just not that moved. Bella Hines, 6 minutes played. She had 6 points, 3 for 4 shooting, 0-1 from the 3. No free throw, 1 rebound, no assist, no turnover, no steal, no block. So had some good stuff in her time played, but Kim didn't play her a whole lot, okay? And then MyLasia Flau'jae, 24 minutes played. She had 6 points, 1 of 8 shooting, 0-3 from the 3, 4-4 free throw, 4 rebound, 3 assists, 3 turnover, 4 steal, and 1 block, okay? If you're new here, my opinion on MyLasia Flau'jae is that she's very talented, but it's just not consistent. Like, I think Dawn said this, and it's true, but she can do some of the most insane things that you've ever seen. Like, I've seen her do, like, a behind-the-back pass, and she can make some insane shots as well, and she can blow up plays and be an explosive defender, too. But then you see what she mainly does when she scores, which is just contested layups with fancy finishes on it, and most of the time she don't be finishing them. So just needing her to have a more diverse scoring profile and stuff. And also, she had 3 turnovers in 6 minutes or something like that. So yeah, she just did not play well in this game when you're 1 of 8 from the field. Okay, she redeemed herself in the Ole Miss game, which we'll talk about, but just was not a great performance for MyLasia Flau'jae, okay? And then we go on to scoring by quarter. So first quarter 16 to 21, second quarter 25 to 19, third quarter 19 to 15, and fourth quarter 19 to 17. Ultimately, South Carolina wins 79 to 72. Okay, and so leading for points, rebounds, and assists, Tessa Johnson, okay, 21 points, Medina Okot 17 rebound, and Raven Johnson with 6 assists to 4 turnovers. Ugh. And then Flau'jae with 21 points, Amia Joyner with 13 rebound, and Jada Richard with 3 assists to 1 turnover. Okay. Now on to some advanced stats. So from the field, South Carolina 28 for 66, 42%, 8 of 17 from the 3, 47%, 15 of 17 from the free throw line, 88%, 37 total rebounds in this one for you, 11 offensive and 26 defensive, 11 assists in this one, 7 steals, 6 block, 9 total turnovers committed, and you had 6 points off turnovers, didn't capitalize enough, 11 fast breaker transition points, 38 points in the paint, 20 foul, no tag, largest lead was 8, and percent led was 60. And then we go on to LSU, 28 for 70 of the field. I forgot how bad this was. Oh my God. 40%. 2 of 12 from the three-point line, 17%. 14 from 23 from the free throw line, which is going to be 61%. 46 total rebounds in this one for you. 18 offensive, 28 defensive. You had 12 assists, 5 steal, 4 block, 9 turnover in this one. So they tied, but they got 12 points off of turnovers. They had 13 fast breaker decision points, 38 points in the paint, 14 foul, no tech, largest lead was 6, and percent led was 39. Okay. Now to my overall thoughts, I knew that this was going to come down to the post players and the defense in some fashion. Okay. And I just felt like when it came to coaching that Dawn was going to have them ready and have them playing some respectable basketball. You know, we understand the injuries that South Carolina has dealt with and everything this year, and Dawn's still doing everything that she can to, you know, being able to get them to win games and just having that discipline. So I just had more confidence in what South Carolina was going to do. And you saw that, and you saw some big performances from Tessa Johnson, Raven Johnson, had some good stuff with this one. So I just had a lot more confidence in South Carolina, and they proved me right in this one. Okay. And I remember whenever I went live, somebody told me that LSU was going to win by 30. Like, that's absolutely insane. And I knew that that was disrespectful. Okay. And this game was at LSU and everything, but it don't matter. South Carolina still came and got that win. And then one of the reasons why I think LSU loses this game is because they missed critical free throws. They missed 9 free throws in this game as a team. You have to be able to capitalize at the free throw line, okay? So I think that there's something there, and I think that they just took worse shots overall as a team, and their offense still leaves a lot to desired in just the way that it goes, because you can tell that they're just playing street ball. They're not running real sets. Like, they are just doing anything and doing a lot of ISO, and that's just not conducive to winning games, you know, and you see that whenever they play real teams, okay? And South Carolina was terrible at finishing at the layups. I forget what the percentage was or whatever, but they were awful at finishing the layups and everything. Like I said, Okot was huge. Joyce tends to be a choke artist in the big games. And like I said, Flau'jae played well in this one, and for sure. Also, I will say, people are talking about the officiating. There was some calls that I disagree with. I don't feel like it decided the game because both of them got a fair amount of free throws and all the other stuff, and being able to capitalize off of that. Like I said, game of the year to me. I was super entertained. I was looking forward to this game, and so they ate. And so going on to the whole thing about Flau'jae, so they made a meme from her at the end of the game because she was crying at the end of the game, and then she held up the floor, and then they were just making memes out of that. So there was that. And so overall takeaways for Flau'jae in this game, like I said, she played well. And I kind of feel bad in the sense of, like, she really put her heart out there on the floor and was the only one who gave them a chance. And so to lose like that, it's unfortunate. But also, like, one of my friends told me, she was the same one making fun of Cynthia Norman after they won over there and then did the whole thing multiple times. And I don't know. And, like, the whole team was pretty much doing it for the most part. But I thought that was distasteful and everything, you know, and I just feel like whenever they're up big, she talks in whenever they win, and then whenever they lose, you know, she's silent. And so, like, people made a meme out of that and stuff. And then also her mom, like, went on social, and it was like a Facebook Live, I think, which I already knew was going to be messy by that. So I put this tweet on the screen. But it said, the mother of college basketball player Flau'jae reacts to her daughter's loss to Dawn Staley in South Carolina, saying that Flau'jae is beating South Carolina in real life. She also states that her daughter was the best player on the court despite the loss, and believes that Flau'jae will be drafted higher than any South Carolina player in the upcoming draft. So my takeaways on this entire thing from Flau'jae's mom is I just feel like it's really distasteful for her to throw Flau'jae's teammates under the bus with this one. You just don't say that. You just don't say that, one. And then also talking about winning in real life. At the end of the day, we're talking about basketball right now. We talking about basketball right now. They didn't win the game. It is what it is. And, you know, so I don't know. I didn't appreciate that. Like people said, like, talk about the fans. Don't talk about the South Carolina players, because they weren't saying nothing. They weren't saying nothing. So I didn't understand that. And then she also said something about how, like, with the jersey sales, like, how she's high up there, and was talking about the only reason UConn sold more jerseys was because they won the Natty and everything. And so, like people have said, like Paige has been high in the jersey sales. Like Paige is extremely popular. Same thing with AZ, okay? And so, like, I just don't understand, like, all that stuff. Like, it's about the game. It's about the game. It's about winning. And this stuff just doesn't make Flau'jae look good. And I just don't feel that she should have said it. So that's kind of my takeaways on all that stuff. And like I said, like, Flau'jae, I believe, has a talent of a lottery pick. I don't feel like she's been playing like it as of late. And part of me feels like it's too late to do that. I feel like a lot of the GMs kind of already have their minds decided in terms of who they are going to draft. And we'll see what happens the rest of the season in the tournament, but I feel like it's already kind of locked in. So we'll see, but I feel like her draft stock has kind of slid and everything, and I feel like it was too late. It was too late. So not a great thing for her mother to say. That's kind of how I felt on that entire situation. And then some overall thoughts on LSU and Ole Miss. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this one, so I'll throw up the stats on the screen. The things that you need to know in this one is that Flau'jae had a good game for the most part, 18 points, and she was 6 for 11 shooting, and Malaysia had a bounce back. She had 26 points, and she was 10 for 18 shooting. So those are the only people on LSU who literally did anything, like genuinely, if you see the stats on the screen. And then for Ole Miss, Cody McMahon had 25 points, but she was 8 of 25 from the field, okay? And then one of the big stories from this game is that in the fourth quarter, Ole Miss went 0 for 16 from the field. You heard that right. Yes, 0 for 16. They took 16 shots, and they made none of them. And some people are saying the fatigue because of the other games. I mean, I suppose, but at the same rate, like, that was mind-blowing. And I think that LSU was very fortunate in this one because it looked like Ole Miss was going to take this game away. It really did. And LSU staged a furious comeback, and then when you can't score and they weren't getting enough stops on defense, yeah, so that was crazy. That was crazy. Like I said, Ole Miss, I'm not seeing a whole lot in the tournament. They go into the Sweet 16 at best, you know, and so LSU having to play better with no more discipline, limiting the turnovers, and just better on both ends of the floor. Because watching LSU at the rate, you understand what you're going to get with them, but I'm just not seeing a national championship team from LSU. And I've been saying that all season, and I'm going to continue to say it, okay? Next game that I want to talk about is Texas facing off against Tennessee, okay? So Texas gets a dub 65-63. In a win, it was way closer than it should have been. If we're going to keep it a buck, like Texas should have won by a lot more, but you know, let's get into it. So Madison Booker in this one, she played 30 minutes, had 14 points, 5 for 8 shooting, and she had no threes attempted, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 turnovers, 1 steal, and no block. So in all honesty, I was expecting another choke job because that's typically what happens from Madison Booker in big games, and we've seen that multiple times this year. And so, yeah. But her only attempting 8 shots was really surprising to me. I don't know why she did it. I watched the post-game interview and they didn't ask her about that, or so I don't know if that was her decision. I don't know if that's something Vic Schaefer told her to do. But that was really puzzling because for the most part I thought she played well. And then when she got the ball in the fourth quarter, I was expecting her to be more aggressive offensively and try to do something. And she made 1 or 2 shots, but I don't know. I expected more of the shot attempts from Madison Booker, so I'll put it that way. Justice Carlton, 17 minutes played. She had 8 points, 2 for 4 shooting, no threes, 4 for 4 free throw, 2 rebound, no assist, no turnover, 1 steal, and no block. So then we go on to Bria Cunningham, 28 minutes played, 8 points, 4 of 9 from the field, and she had no threes, 0-2 from the free throw line. How you miss both? 7 rebound, no assists, 2 turnover, no steal, and 1 block. So, I mean, you would like to see a little bit more for the time, but yeah. And then we go on to Jordan Lee, 38 minutes played, 12 points, 4 for 12 shooting, 0-4 from the 3, and 4-5 from the free throw line, 6 rebound, 3 assists, 2 turnover, 2 steal, and no block, okay? And so the whole thing with Jordan Lee is the shooting slump continues. She had a game where it looked like she got out of it. It might have been the Vanderbilt game. It was like one of the games where she was efficient. But yeah, she's just been a shooting slump for a couple of weeks at this rate and everything. So not the best at shooting the basketball. Still is finding other ways to be impactful. But yeah, like she's really the 3-point specialist along with Leah Crump for Texas. Okay, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, Rory Harmon, 32 minutes played, she had 12 points, 5 for 9 shooting, no threes in this one, and 2 free throw, 2 rebound, 3 assists, 4 turnover. I'm not pleased by that. And she had 4 steals and no blocks, understanding what she's going to bring defensively, forcing the 5-second violations and stuff, and just putting a lot of energy into that. So I do appreciate that for sure. And I thought that she played well in this game when you're 5 and 9 from the field. So I was happy to see that. In general, I wish she could elevate a little bit more on her jump shot because I'm pretty sure it was like the game after this, it wasn't her most efficient. And it's just like, it's like a day late in the dollar short. So I wish she could elevate a little bit on the jump shot. But I mean, that's just opinions there, and then obviously being able to be good at facilitating the basketball. And I don't understand why he does the lineups with her and Preston on the floor at the same time. That does nothing for me. And I don't understand why she was guarding Talaysia Cooper in this game. Roy Harmon, I think, is 5'6", 5'7". Talaysia Cooper is at least like 6'2", 6'3". So Madison Booker, I don't know what Madison Booker was doing on defense in this game because that should have mainly been her defensive assignment. And Talaysia Cooper cooked them, which I will talk about. But yeah, the bench didn't get much. Sidbury 6 points, Oldacre 3 points, but she only played 12 minutes. I don't understand why he didn't play Oldacre more time. I really don't, because I don't believe believe she was in foul trouble in this game. So that was very puzzling to me. Aaliyah Crum only played 6 minutes in this game, no points and everything. And she only took 2 shots in this one. But I don't understand why he did that. Like, his rotations mind blow me. I don't get it. And then Preston, 13 minutes and 2 points. She had no assists in this game. I don't know. I wasn't moved. For the Lady Vols, Latham 2 points, Z 2 points, Janiyah 12 points, 4 of 7, so efficient. Robertson 11 points, Talasia Cooper cooking, okay, 32 minutes played, 29 points, 12 for 19 shooting, 4 of 7 from 3, 101 free throw. She had 1 rebound, 2 assists, 9 turnovers. It gets to a point. You can't turn over the ball 9 times. Who's she feeling like? Caitlin Clark? She had 2 steals and no block. So yeah, turnover, I can't praise that. For the most part, I thought she played well, though. I've said before that I like Talasia Cooper and that she's Tennessee's best player, and she showed why in this game. The bench, you literally did not get much. Silva gave you 6 points. Wolfenbarger gave you 1 point. Everyone else literally gave you 0 points, so not much to talk about. And then we look at scoring by quarter. So first quarter 24-16, second quarter 10-18, third quarter 16-13, fourth quarter 15-16, okay? And then Texas wins 65-63. Leaders for points, rebounds, and assists: Madison Booker 14 points, Bria Cunningham 7 rebound, and Madison Booker with 4 assists to 4 turnovers. Lord. Talasia Cooper 29 points, Sybil 7 rebound, and Spearman with 3 assists to 1 turnover, okay? So then we continue on. Texas 24 for 52 from the field, 46%, 0-6 from the 3, Lord, 0%, 17 for 23 from the free throw line, which is going to be 74%, 31 total rebound, 12 offensive, 19 defensive, 10 assists, 10 steal, and they had 2 blocks in this one, 17 total turnovers, which is way too many for them, okay? Like, they average 10 a game. 17 points off of turnovers, 15 fast breaker transition points, 40 points in the paint, 12 fouls, no tech, largely was 14, and percent led was 75, okay? It'd be hard to focus because the light's flickering. I forget how this shows up on the video, but I move on. And then Tennessee, 25 for 55 from the field, which is going to be 45%, 8 of 21 from 3, 38%, 5 of 11 from the free throw line, 45%, 31 total rebound, 12 offensive, 19 defensive, 11 assists, 8 steal, 3 block, 23 total turnover, 20 points off of turnovers, 13 fast breaker transition points, 30 points in the paint, 25 foul, no tech, largely was 2, and percent led was going to be 4, okay? So my overall takeaways in this game, like I said, Madison Booker with 8 shots. I didn't get that. Vic Schaefer just continually baffles me with the rotations and everything. Like I said, playing with the Aaliyah Crum minutes, Oldacre not enough minutes, Jordan Lee I thought played too many minutes. So I just continuously do not understand. And in the beginning of this game, I thought Texas played well. It was just beautiful basketball, just a lot of nice passing, and they were perfect from the field for at least their first 6 shots. They were like 6 for 6 or something like that. And then Tennessee just started making stuff, tying it up on their defense and everything. There was a point in the second quarter, I believe, where Tennessee went on a run, and he did not change his lineup. You felt them getting the momentum, and he didn't change the lineup. I just don't understand that and everything. And like I said, Aaliyah Crum more minutes with Madison Booker and Rory Harmon. He needs to do that. The turnovers, you cannot turn over the ball 17 times in a game. You can't. It made it way closer than it needs to be. Got cooked by Talasia Cooper. Like I said, I don't know what Madison Booker was doing in this game, but they showed the switches that they did too. Jordan Lee got cooked and Rory was trying, but like she shouldn't even be in that position, you know? So I just don't even understand those things, you know? And the defense just wasn't to the standard that I expect Texas defense to be at all. So yeah, this game way closer than it needs to be. So yeah, this game ended because I think Roy and Preston got a steal off Talasia Cooper. So yeah, that was some good stuff. Tennessee just lost to Texas A&M. I did not see that game, but yeah, that coach is probably getting fired. And I told you she couldn't coach anyway. So it's due at this rate and everything. And Texas just continues to show that they're not one of those upper echelon teams. They really don't. And I think a lot of that is for Vic Schaefer, you know, to take and everything. But he want to blame everybody else. And then for the Arkansas game, I'll give some quick thoughts on that one. What you need to know: Madison Booker, 21 points, 9 for 14 shooting. Jordan Lee continues to kind of struggle. 11 points, 4 of 12 shooting. Rory Harmon, 8 points, 3 for 9. Cunningham, 4 points, 2 of 4. Carlton, 3 points, 1 of 2. Oldacre had a good game, 13 points, 5 of 6. Aaliyah Crum, 16 points, 7 of 14. Judd was one of her better games, 13 points, 6 for 11. Like I said, still having to limit the turnovers, just playing better overall, rotations and stuff. A lot of that stuff kind of applies, I feel like, to that, okay? So that's my takeaway. Now time to talk about UCLA taking on Indiana, okay? So UCLA wins 92-48, pretty dominant win, okay? So Lauren Betts played 26 minutes in this one, had 16 points, 6 for 17 shooting, No threes attempted, 4 or 5 from the free throw line, 14 rebounds, so a double-double, okay? And she had 3 assists, 1 turnover, no steal, and 1 block. In the beginning, I thought that they were playing some really good defense on her, just collapsing in on her when she got the ball, making her have to take difficult shots or making her have to give up the ball, okay? And then also, she was just missing some stuff that she normally makes. Like, she had a couple of putbacks in this one, and just some mind-baffling stuff where it's like, you usually make those things, and I appreciate that she's trying to keep taking the mid-range because, like I said, it's important. Also, would like to see her attempt some more threes because I don't think she's attempted that many this season, but just not her finest hour, okay? And then we go into Charlize Ledger-Walker, 25 minutes played. She had 12 points. 5 for 9 shooting this one, 2 or 3 from the 3, 0-1 from the free throw line, 4 total rebounds in this one, 3 assists, 2 turnover, 1 steal, and no block, okay? So, yeah, she had a decent game. And then we had Gianna Neepkins, 25 minutes played, 12 points, 5 for 10 shooting, 1 of 4 from the 3, 1 of 1 free throw, 4 rebound, 1 assist, no turnover, no steal, and no block, okay? So, offensively, she's pretty much always going to give you a solid stat line. She can grade for herself, scoring at all 3 levels, but it's just the on-ball defense that's terrible. She has to improve on that, okay? Because she gets beat every single time with her on-ball. Hawkes, she played 28 minutes, 11 points, 3 for 8 shooting, 1 of 5 from the 3, 4 for 4 free throws, 7 rebounds. She had 2 assists, no turnover, 1 steal, and no block. So just not her finest hour. Then we go on to Kiki Rice, 29 minutes played, 17 points, 7 for 13 shooting, 2 of 5 from the 3, 1 of 1 free throw, 9 rebound, only 2 assists. Okay, I didn't get that. Okay, she had no turnover, no steal, and no block. Okay, as the point guard, her and Charlize Ledger-Walker got to have more than 2 and 3 assists. Okay, so I will definitely say that. Had some good stuff in this game, able to hit a couple threes. She mainly likes to drive, so understanding that, and so yeah. And then the bench, you got 10 points from Sienna Betts, but she was 4-11 from the field. So I think the shot diet just was not great from her in this game. Just having to be better and more patient with the shots that she takes. Okay, and she's still raw, so I give grace, but yeah. And then Dugalich only had 4 points, which is really surprising. Okay, and then Billick had 10 points. Okay, so that's how everyone did for, UCLA. And from Indiana, reading the points, Maya 13 points, Odessa 1 point, Nevaeh 10 points, Lene 11 points, Shea had 2 points, and then on the bench, Jade 0 points, Faith 0 points, Phoenix 7 points, and Journey, I believe, 4 points. Okay, and then we look at the scoring by quarter, how that broke down. Okay, so 10-17, 10-30, 14-29, and then 14-16. Ultimately, UCLA wins 98-42. And then we look at the game leaders. Okay. So for UCLA, Kiki Rice with 17 points, Lauren Betts with 14 rebounds, and Lauren Betts with 3 assists to 1 turnover. For Indiana, you had Mikulski, I believe, 13 points, Beaumont with 5 rebounds, and Beaumont with 2 assists, okay? And so from the field, UCLA was 36 for 78, which is going to be 46%, 8 of 20 from the three-point line, which is going to be 40%, 12 of 15 from the free throw line, which is going to be 80%. 51 total rebounds, Lauren Betts jersey number, and 23 offensive, 28 defensive, and then you had 16 assists, 3 steal, 3 block, 4 total turnovers in this one, 25 points off of turnovers, 3 fast breakers, decision points. You had 42 points in the paint, 15 fouls, no tech. Largely was 52, and percent led was 99. Then we're looking at Indiana, 15 for 48 from the field, 31%, 4 of 20 from the three-point line, 20%, 14 of 17 from the free throw line, which is going to be 82%, 24 total rebounds in this one, 4 offensive and 20 defensive, 3 assists, 1 steal, no block, 13 total turnover, 2 points off a turnover, 2 fast breaker transition points, 16 points in the paint, 20 foul, no technical, largely was none, and percent led was none. Overall thoughts, in the beginning, was kind of closer than it should have been. At some point in the second quarter, UCLA just really started to dominate the game and do what they needed to do, okay? UCLA really does not have a bench at this point, okay? So that's going to come back to bite them in some fashion when somebody gets in foul trouble or just someone's not producing, so she really doesn't have a whole lot off of the bench. And then the offense just goes too slow. One of my friends told me this, but I would agree, okay? There's going to be teams that are going to speed them up and everything. Their defense was fine. I'm not going to say it's bad, but I really think if you take Lauren off this defensive unit, it gets worse. Every time I watch UCLA, I don't really have a whole lot of overwhelming takeaways because there's really not much to talk about. Like I said, when we get to March in the tournament, I want to see what they do there because I have a feeling, like I said before, that Corey Close is going to make some bad decisions, and she just really doesn't make any tangible adjustments. Every time they take Lauren out of the game, she gets confused, and the guards don't show up. So we'll see what happens, but like I said, we'll see what happens in the tournament. I don't have much to say. Now I go into my bonus game this week, so I decided to watch the Oklahoma and the Georgia game, okay? So Oklahoma ultimately wins 71-67. We got the 6-7. Okay, so looking at the stats for this one for Oklahoma, okay, let's talk about City of Norman, okay? So she played 38 minutes in this one, had 27 points, 9 for 17 shooting, 1 of 3 from the 3, 8 of 8 free throws. She had 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 turnover, 2 steal, and 1 block. overall, I thought she played well in this game, okay? One of the things that I really liked is that she was a lot better with her shot selection, okay? And she was getting more in that mid-range area and just going more to the rim, finishing through contact that way. And I think that's what she needs to do more of, okay? And so I feel like in the past games that I've seen, just the way that they're guarding her and everything on defense, she's always taking threes in transition because she's free to take those shots and everything, and that's before the defense gets set, right? And so I feel like with these kind of shots and just like manipulating the defense, finding ways to get open and all this stuff, the screens that they were saying were certainly helpful. But I just think that this is a much more favorable shot diet for her. She was really efficient in this game. And so, yeah, with the threes, I think she should attempt like 4 a game. You know, lean into that mid-range game more. The mid-range game, like, people do not understand like how crucial that can be to the game, and just like it's such a good thing to be able to lean on. And so I thought that, you know, with her shot selection, I thought she did a lot of good stuff, and I thought that she played well in this game for sure. And then the defense, she did some good stuff. That block, she ate, okay? So she might pay for freshman of the year, okay? She's doing some great stuff, averages 18 points a game, does some great stuff facilitating the ball when she had 5 assists to only 1 turnover in this game. So I just thought that this was a really complete game, and she's needed it. I've seen some of the stat lines for the other games, haven't been her best, so it was just needed. You guys know I like City of Norman. I think she's super exciting, and just, you know, the next couple years at OU, I will be watching her tenure, okay? Because she's had some great stuff. I'm still not forgetting that performance against South Carolina. So she needed this one bad, and, you know, she came through. So shout out to City of Norman, okay? Tara Williams, 29 minutes played. She had 11 points, 4 for 15 shooting, 1 of 4 from the 3, 2 of 2 free throws, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnover, 3 steal, and no block. Not great when you go 4 of 15, okay? Then we're going on to Reagan Beers, 17 minutes played. She had 8 points, 2 for 5 shooting, 1 of 1 from the 3, 3 of 6 free throw, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 turnover, no steal, and no block. Reagan Beers has to stop getting in foul trouble, bro. Every time I watch the game, she always gets in foul trouble, and she commits some of the most obvious fouls that you see. You see her just like, you know, with the illegal screens and all that other stuff, and just doing, like, you gotta stop doing that. You gotta stop doing that. Because when she does play for the team, I think you see a huge difference, because she can play some good defense, and she can score for you, and she can set some screens. But when you're not on the floor, you're not gonna help the team. So she has to get out of foul trouble. Like, that's number one. She did hit a 3 in this game, which I thought was good, you know, because her outside shot, that's something that she still has to work on as well. But it's really the foul trouble that is her Achilles heel every single time. You have to stay out of foul trouble to help the team. Then we go on to Zyvan. 31 minutes played. She had 9 points in this one, 4 for 8 shooting, 1 of 1 from the 3. No free throws. She had 3 rebounds, no assists, 1 turnover, no steal, and 2 block. I would like to see her have more touches in these games. I thought she did some good stuff. You know, I feel like you didn't really hear from her much until the end. She hit some big shots, but, you know, I thought she had some good stuff, and I think she's a good player. Peyton Verhulst, 30 minutes played. She had 6 points, 3 for 10 shooting. 0-2 from the 3. No free throws in this one. She had 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 turnover, 2 steal, and 1 block, bro. I'm never forgetting that game when she went 1 of 14. Like, that really hurt my heart. It just was not a good game for her. You know, let's put it that way. The bench, you didn't really get a whole lot. Brooke and Store, 2 points. Kaya, 4 points. Beatrice, 2 points. And then Keziah had 2 points. So that's, you know, everything for Oklahoma. And then we go into Georgia, okay? So we had Woolfolk, I believe, 32 minutes played, 29 points, 9 for 12 shooting, no threes, 11 of 14 from the free throw line, 9 rebound, no assists, no turnover, no steal, and 1 block. Did her thing, okay? Got to give her credit, you know, because she was huge. And then we have Aisha, I believe, 3 minutes played, and she recorded no stats besides 1 turnover, so not anything to talk about. She didn't really play a whole lot. And then Trinity, 35 minutes played, 10 points, 4 for 9 shooting, 0-2 from the 3, 2-2 free throw. She had 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 turnovers, good God, 2 steal, and no block, okay? And so and then we go on to Carnegie. 34 minutes played, 14 points. She shot my grandma's birthday, y'all. 5 for 17 from the field, Lord. 1 of 5 from the 3, 3 of 4 free throws, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 turnover, 1 steal, and no block. And then we go into Riley, 35 minutes played, 6 points, 2 for 8 shooting, 0-5 from the 3, 2-2 free throw. She had 2 rebounds, no assists, 2 turnover, no steal, and no block, okay? So that is everybody from Georgia for the starters. The bench didn't really get a whole lot. From Vera, 3 points. Gonzalez, 2 points, and then Savannah had 3 points, okay? Now we look at scoring by quarter, okay? So 22-13, 15-14, 13-17, and 21-23, okay? Oklahoma wins 71-6-7. And then leaders for points, rebounds, and assists. City Norman, 27 points, okay? Sahara Williams with 6 rebounds, and City Norman with 5 assists to 1 turnover. Thank you. For Georgia, Woolfolk with 29 points, Woolfolk with 9 rebounds, and Turner with 5 assists to 4 turnovers, Lord. Okay, and then we look at everything else. So from the field, Oklahoma was 25 for 6-7, okay, which is going to be 37%. 4 of 16 from 3, Lord, 25%. 17 for 22 from the free throw line, which is going to be 77%. 39 total rebounds, 15 offensive, 24 defensive. You saw 16 assists in this one, 9 steals, 6 blocks, 13 total turnovers committed in this game. Was still like to see them get the turnovers down. But they had 14 points off of turnovers. They had 10 fast break or transition points. They had 28 points in the paint. 25 fouls, no tech, largely was 12, and percent led was 99. And then for Georgia, you see 22 for 51 from the field, which is going to be 43%, 2 of 15 from the three-point line, which is going to be 13%, 21 for 26 from the free throw line, which is going to be 81%. And then you see 31 total rebounds, 7 offensive, 24 defensive, 10 assists, 4 steal, 2 block, 15 total turnover, 10 points off of turnovers, 4 fast break or transition points, 28 points in the paint, 21 foul, no tech, largely was 0, and percent led was 0, okay? So overall takeaways on this game. For Oklahoma, they definitely played less zone than they have played in the past. At the very least, they didn't play as much of the 2-3 zone. And I'm glad that they did that because every single game, they always play that 2-3 zone and it gets fried every single time. So they did something different. They did a little bit more 1-3-1 and kind of focused more on their man defense, which room for improvement for sure. But, you know, I'm glad she did something different with that. Like I said, I like Sadie Norman doing the mid-range game more. Half-court offense still needs some work, and the shot selection, they be taking anything. So having to be better with that. And that, you know, Oklahoma doesn't have a bench. So we'll see. I don't think they're going to get really far in the tournament. Maybe Sweet 16, maybe Elite 8 if I push it. We'll see who they play when everything gets finalized, okay? But, you know, those are some of my overall takeaways in this game, at least for Oklahoma. Georgia, Oklahoma just had more. Oklahoma just had more. They just shot it a touch better, you know, so that's kind of my takeaways there. Then I want to give my thoughts on some Unrivaled stuff, okay? So I think in my last podcast, I talked about the preview for the second round of the tournament, at the very least, like who I thought was going to win and all that stuff. So now I want to talk about my thoughts on the matchups with that and like everything else with 1v1, okay? And so we had Kelsey Mitchell taking on Veronica Burton. So in this one, I think Kelsey Mitchell got off to a good start, but Veronica Burton made her work for the last couple points in it. So I thought it was a good one, but Kelsey Mitchell won. I don't remember the scores for pretty much any of these, so I apologize in advance for that, y'all. Okay. And then we had Kelsey Plum versus Anastasia Heidemann. I remember the score for this one because she cooked her 12-0, bro. That fadeaway that she hit 8, and yeah, it was just cash. Like, we already knew Kelsey Plum was going to win that one, and yeah, that was one of my favorite matchups, okay? And then we have Paige going up against Enrique. I told you guys I was really excited for this, and just about how I felt Paige was going to get up to a lead, and then Enrique was going to start fouling her. And that's exactly what happened, So I thought, you know, just when you have a first set that's so explosive, the patience that Paige has, she takes great shots as well, and she can defend too. I knew it was cash. Paige won like 12-4, and then Enrique went on Twitter talking about love PB5 down, but Sephora rest. I don't know. I think blaming the rest when you lost 12-4. I didn't like that. So I don't know. So that's kind of my takeaways on that, but it was really fun to watch. So Paige really did her thing with that one. And then we have Chelsea Gray and Jackie Young. So I forget what the score with this one, but it was pretty close. But Chelsea Gray just had a little bit more in that bag. Okay, so Chelsea Gray wins that one. Then we had Brianna Stewart going up against Aaliyah Boston. Okay, Aaliyah Boston ends up getting this one. One of the things that I think was momentum shifting is Stewie gave up a huge 3. Okay, she didn't even try to contest it. So I feel like that really shifted the momentum and everything. And, you know, they both had their moments, but Aaliyah Boston just had more. She had some difficult shots on Stewie. So gotta give her credit. You know. And then we had Aaliyah Edwards taking on Shakira Austin. Incredibly physical matchup, okay? And Lord, they were going brick for brick at one point. But Aaliyah Edwards came back down from a deficit, and she got the dub, okay? And then we had Alicia Gray versus Sanaya Rivers. Sanaya hit some tough shots, but Alicia Gray prevails, and that's what I thought was going to happen. And then we have Sonia Citron going up against Ray Burrell. I thought Sonia was going to win this matchup. She got cooked by Ray Burrell. I think it was like 11-0, 12-0. Yeah, she got smoked, okay? So that's what happened with that one. And then we're going to the quarterfinals. So we had Kelsey Mitchell taking on Kelsey Plum. This was a really fun one. You know, I think both of them had some good stuff on both ends. I forgot to mention when Kelsey Mitchell ended up taking on Veronica Burton. She had like 2 blocks on her, okay? So I think that they both had some good stuff. I thought Kelsey Mitchell was going to win, but Kelsey Plum just had a little bit more, okay? So it was really fun though. And then we have Paige taking on Chelsea Gray. Okay, takeaways on this one. I think that Paige did everything that she could to contest Chelsea's shots and make them difficult. And I think that Chelsea Gray just hit some really difficult shots. You know, that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes ultimately. It wasn't Paige's best day from the field, but y'all know I always believe in Demon. But it is what it is. You know, some of the fouls, I can understand Paige's frustration about that. But I think Chelsea just played better ultimately, okay? And then, you know, there was some stuff on Twitter and people were trying to hate on Paige and clown Paige and all the other stuff. And my response to that is like, Paige literally dapped up Chelsea after, and then she left. Like, what else do you want her to do and everything? I think she was frustrated because she didn't like some of the calls, one, and then two, she was frustrated with her level of play because she felt like she could have played better, I'm sure. So I think it was those things. And this is coming from Caitlin Clark fans, which is really rich that it's coming from them. Because mind you, Caitlin not even lacing them up and playing in Unrivaled. You put Caitlin in 1v1, and then she would get cooked by a lot of people because she cannot defend, and she does not have a real bag. Like, you put a decent defender up Caitlin, she's getting locked up, but people don't want to talk about that. And just trying to make Paige look like bad sport and all that. Like, I don't know. I didn't really appreciate that. Like, she dapped up Chelsea, and she was frustrated, and then she left. Like, I don't understand all of this discourse and everything that happened from it, you know? Like, a lot of the discourse on Twitter is insufferable, and just reminding myself that it's an echo chamber, but people were really trying to victory lap on Demon, and I like absolutely not, absolutely not. And people are acting like Paige lost to some scrub. This is Chelsea Gray. Chelsea Gray has won, you know, Olympic medals, and she's won multiple WNBA championships. Like, Chelsea Gray is a very formidable opponent, you know? And so, I mean, she did her thing. She did her thing, you know? So, I don't know. I thought that was dumb, but that's kind of some of my takeaways there, you know, objectively. And then we go on to Aaliyah Edwards taking on Aaliyah Boston, okay? And so Aaliyah Boston ends up getting it up. I think it was 11-0. She got away with like 2 offensive fouls, but you know, the Sephora refs, like, they just are not consistent. They're not consistent in everything. And so all that stuff, but also Aaliyah Edwards had some opportunities to where, you know, she could score and didn't get it done. So I think for the most part, Aaliyah Boston outplayed her. I think that there were some questionable calls though, for sure. And you know, those elbows are going to come back to bite. I'm gesturing. Then we had Alicia Gray taking on Ray Burrell. Okay, so this was a good one. This was a good one. Ultimately, Alicia Gray ends up getting the dub. Okay, and yeah, the 3-ball was really huge for her overall, I think, in this tournament. Okay, and then the next round we had Kelsey Plum taking on Chelsea Gray. Okay, Chelsea Gray just had more. Chelsea Gray just had more. It was a good matchup and everything. They're familiar with each other's game. They played together before, but I just had a feeling Chelsea Gray would pull it out, and did. Okay, and then we had Alicia Gray taking on Aaliyah Boston. I thought Aaliyah Boston was going to win the whole tournament. I talked about this on my TikTok account and everything. But Alicia Gray, that 3-ball was huge. Okay, she hit some really tough shots on Aaliyah Boston and stuff, and then Aaliyah Boston, I think, fouled her a few times. So Alicia Gray won that one. Okay, so then in the final, we ultimately ended up getting Chelsea Gray versus Alicia Gray, okay? And so this went on to 3 games. And so overall, I believe Alicia won the first game, okay? And then Chelsea won the second game, and then Chelsea won the third game. So she won overall and everything. And so, yeah, they only went to 7. They didn't go to 11. And the third game, you can tell that they were both tied. So maybe just have it be like 1 game. Like, maybe have them go to more. I don't know. Because they played like 2 or 3 games in that same day. So, like, that has to be exhausting, right? But shout out to Chelsea Gray. That's the point guard. She did her thing. She had some tough shots, some really great strategy and everything, and just she saw what worked in these matchups and went for it and everything. So I think that it was just really skillful by Chelsea Gray. So congratulations to her for winning a Unrivaled 1v1 tournament. She wins, what, 200K or something? So that's my takeaways on the conclusion of the 1v1 tournament, okay? And now getting on to some of my thoughts for the games. Okay, so we're going to talk about Breeze, and we're going to talk about Phantom, I believe, and we're going to talk about Rose, okay? So we have, you know, 3 different teams we're talking about this time, because they usually just talk about Breeze, but we know Angel's back. Okay, so the first one is we have Breeze going up against Lunar Owls. Lunar Owls got the dub 75-70, okay? This was a hard game to watch, for real. But Paige, 17 minutes played. She had 19 points, 6 for 16 from the field, 0-2 from the 3, 4 for a free throw. She had 4 total rebounds in this one. She had 2 assists, 1 steal, no block, and 3 turnovers, okay? Overall, not Paige's best day from the field. Really tried her best, and I think the whole inclusion with Courtney Williams, it just was a mess in this game, which I will talk about and everything. I still think that there was some good stuff that Paige did do and everything. I think the whole thing with Courtney Williams, it also threw Paige out of rhythm and everything as well. But she still walked away with 19 points, able to capitalize at the free throw line, and Paige is always going to give you some highlights every single game to talk about. So that's kind of my takeaways on Paige in this game. And also, I forgot to say, but Paige off ball do not work. Like, stop with the whole Paige off ball gimmick. Like, I'm tired. Even Jesus rested. And I'll talk about that again later. But yeah. Then we have Dawn, 15.1 minutes played. She had 29 points in this one, 14 for 17 from the field, 1 and 2 for the 3. No free throws in this one, 3 rebound, and she had 2 assists, 2 steal, no block, and 1 turnover, okay? So offensively, did her thing. Able to score in a variety of ways, for sure, and she was super efficient, which we love. Y'all know how I feel about the defense. Still need some work on that, for sure. And then also, when you only have 3 rebounds, and she's, what, 6'6"? I need more rebounds, okay? As a post, I'm looking at your stats. You got less than, like, 6 rebounds, we're gonna have a problem, no shade. Like, we gotta get the rebound, okay? Courtney Williams, 18.5 minutes played in this game. She had 15 points, 6 of 8 shooting, 1 of 2 from the 3, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, and 5 rebound. And she had 7 assists, 1 steal, no block, and 1 turnover. So if you just looked at the stats and you didn't watch the game, you'd be like, oh, Courtney was great in this game, you know? But actually watching the game, it just threw off the whole rhythm and everything, because Rakia did not play for this game. She did come back for the next game, which I will talk about and everything, but it just made no sense for her to start Courtney and everything, because she's brand new. And I just don't think Courtney's that kind of player you can kind of just like throw in the fire like that and everything. Like, I feel like you need to ease Courtney in, and even then she shouldn't be a starter in my opinion. Because the way that I saw it as her coming and playing with the second unit and taking more of Kate Martin's minutes. And so I feel like when you had Courtney Williams starting and everything, you know, and her handling the ball, just a lot of bad decisions were being made, okay? Some bad passes. She was going way too fast in the court in transition, and that was really frustrating for me as well. Missing some basic reads that were there and everything. So yeah, it was just a hot mess. And seeing Courtney Williams before, I knew exactly that this was what she was going to do. So it was just incredibly frustrating to watch and everything. And I told my friends this, but I'm just so tired of Paige always having to adapt to other people instead of other people having to adapt to Paige and what she brings and everything. Because Courtney Williams on the basketball, I was not pleased by it in this game. At the end, she finally started to slow down, but it was too little too late. I was just frustrated by how she played in the game and stuff. And for so many minutes too. It just got to a point, okay? Then we go into Cam Brink, 11.6 minutes played. She had 5 points, 1 of 3 shooting, 1 of 3 from the 3, 1 of 2 free throws, 6 rebounds. She had 2 assists, 1 steal, 2 block, and she had 3 turnovers in this one. Not her best game, you know, from the field. She still finds ways to be valuable in the way that she's able to space the floor and defend. So that was my takeaways there. And then we go into Kate Martin, 9.5 minutes played, 2 points, 1 for 5 shooting, 0-3 from the 3, 0-1 from the free throw line, 2 rebound, and she had 2 assists, 1 steal, no block, and 1 turnover, okay? Not great, not great. Having to be better with the shot selection and decision making, okay? As I mentioned, Rakia did not play in this game, okay? And then Ari McDonald's out for the season, okay? We go into the Lunar Owls in this one. So Skylar Diggins, 17.5 minutes played. She had 23 points, 7 for 12 shooting, 1 of 2 from the 3, 4 for free throw. She had 5 rebound in this one, 5 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, and 2 turnover, okay? And so Skylar did her thing in this one. Skylar did her thing in this one, okay? There was like a moment in the game where her and Kay got into it, and so there was that too. But yeah, she did her thing. Aaliyah Edwards, 17.7 minutes, 24 points, 9 for 15 shooting, 0-1 for the 3, 3 of 4 free throw, 10 rebound, and she had 1 assist, no steal, no block, and 1 turnover. They could not defend her in the post, okay? And just being able to take advantage of what defenses were giving you in defensive mistakes. You saw her do that this entire game, so I thought she played well. Marina, 17.8 minutes played. She had 8 points, 4 for 12 shooting, 0-3 from the 3, 0-2 free throw. She had 5 rebound and 3 assists in this one, 2 steal, no block, and 3 turnovers. So just not a greatest day from the field. And then Beck Allen, she literally had 0 points. There's really nothing to talk about. Rachel Banham had 12 points, 4 for 7 from the field, 4 for 7 from 3, no free throw, 2 rebound, and she had 4 assists, no steal, no block, 1 turnover. Y'all know I'm not fond of Rachel Banham from the Chicago Sky. I don't even want to talk about that right now. Tammy Fabele had 8 points, you know, so she was efficient with that. I get tired of reading stats sometimes, but y'all can see it on the screen if y'all watching. And now we're going to scoring by quarter, okay? So first quarter 14-24, second quarter 19-15, third quarter 21-25, and then the fourth quarter is going to be 16-11, okay? Ultimately, Lunar Owls win this game 75-70, okay? And then we look at the field goals. So 28 for 49 from the field, 57.1% from the breeze. Only 3 3-pointers made, which is going to be 25%. 6 and 9 from the free throw line, 66.7%. 22 total rebounds, not going to cut it. 2 offensive and 20 defensive, 15 assists, 6 steal, 2 block, 9 turnover, okay, and 20 fouls, which, Lord. 26 for 52 from the field for the Lunar Owls, which is going to be 50%. 5 3-pointers in this one, 35.7%. 9 of 12 from the free throw line, 75%. And 31 total rebounds, 9 offensive, 22 defensive, 13 assists, 4 steal, 1 block, 9 turnover, and 16 foul committed, okay? So my overall takeaways in this game, I felt like Noelle had horrible rotations in this game. I just don't know what she was doing. And every time something worked for a semblance of a second, she would switch it, you know. And there would be times where Paige made some shots and then she would sub her out, which made no sense. Like I said, Courtney Williams is not a real point guard, so she just really frustrated me. And it messed up the flow of the game. She should have came off the bench. Paige off the ball doesn't work. Paige is a point guard. When Paige is off the ball, you see how disorganized that the offense looks, okay? And it was just a hot mess. It was just a hot mess, and it shouldn't have happened, you know. like in Dallas, we saw Paige off the ball doesn't work. Like if you're going to play Paige off the ball, like at the very least, you're going to need more scoring threats and you're going to need somebody who's better at facilitating the Courtney Williams. So it just got to a point. Not enough rebounds, okay? Like that was really frustrating. And then the defense was terrible. So I was, like just having to lock in on the basketball stuff as well, and like no Rakia really hurt us in the game, really needed that. And so yeah, wishing her the best and everything obviously, but yeah, that game I was hot. I was so frustrated watching the game because Noelle was really doing anything. We looked terrible. The whole game we really could not get in the rhythm, okay? And we brought it close, but like Brandy said, almost doesn't count. So that was my takeaways on that basketball game. And then the next game that I'm going to talk about is Breeze's next game that just happened against the Vinyl. So Breeze win this one 77-56. Thank you. Okay, needed that win real bad. Okay, so Paige in this one, 18.5 minutes played. She had 25 points, 8 for 18 shooting, 2 of 6 from the 3, 5 of 5 free throws. She had 12 rebounds, a double-double. Love me a good guard double-double. You already know. And she had 4 assists, 1 steal, 2 block, 3 turnover, and 3 personal foul. Overall in this game, I think you can tell that Paige just looked a lot more comfortable because she was able to be on the basketball and she was able to facilitate as a point guard, okay? Hashtag let Paige play point guard. Like, what do I always say? So I think that was a big difference in this game and everything. And so you just see her being able to hit a lot of cool shots in this one, like the mid-range, that's always going to be her shot. And she had this one where she hit it on Ray Burrell. I think she did it behind the back. Like, that was cool as well. She got a block on Ray Burrell head. Every time they play each other, it'd be comedy. But yeah, for the most part, I thought that Paige played well and did some great stuff. She was really on her rebound, and it was this one with 12 rebounds, okay? We needed every single one of those, and just how hard she's going to play on defense, the facilitating, just all of it. Like, Paige is just so electric to watch, so much fun. She was getting hyped, too, when they got them blocks. Like, she was clapping, like, yeah. Just the energy she brings, her leadership, yeah. I really enjoyed Paige in this game, for sure, okay? In this game, I think Paige, like, tripped or something, and they called that traveling, which makes no sense. She literally fell. How's that a travel, okay? So, the officiating is just inconsistent. And then Rakia returns with this game, okay? So, she played 15.7 minutes. She had 22 points, 9 for 18 shooting, 4 6 from the 3, no free throw. She had 3 rebound in this one, 1 assist, 3 steal, no block, no turnover, and 3 foul. Overall, I thought Rakia played extremely well. Like I said, the last game, we were missing her bad. And so you just see the connection that she has with Paige, that 1-3 that she hit off the Paige assist, absolutely beautiful. The connection that she has with Cam as well. And so just being able to score in a variety of ways, had a couple times where she was able to come huge on defense for us. So I'm really glad to have Rakia back in the fold, and she played a really, really good game, and we needed all that. So happy to see that, okay? Her Paige really led the way for this game. Dom, 14.1 minutes. She had 13 points, 4 for 10 shooting. She had no threes attempted, 3 free throws. She had 9 rebound in this one. And she had no assists, no steal, 4 block, okay? And 1 turnover and 2 personal fouls. Overall takeaways on Dom in this game is, in the beginning, I just don't feel like she played well, and I felt like Noelle should have sat her, and she didn't, so it just wasn't great in the beginning. In the back half, she did a couple of good things, and she had a couple of blocks that she racked up back to back, which we needed. We needed that rim protection, so I was happy with that. So I don't know, it's just the same things that I say about, I think, some of the shot selection at times as well, and she had some easy layups that she just completely missed, so that was incredibly frustrating, you know. And even Monique Billings was saying on the broadcast, like, sometimes like having to slow down as opposed to just shots that should be made, and like the defense too. In general, okay? So, yeah, I kind of feel split on her performance in this one. Cam Brink, she played 12.2 minutes, 8 points, 3 for 4 shooting, 2 of 3 from the 3, 0-1 from the free throw line, 6 rebound, and she had 1 assist, 1 steal, 4 block, 2 turnover, and 2 personal foul. Overall, I thought she played well, you know, and so, like I said, her ability to be able to space the floor, set some screens, she hit some wide open threes for you, and the defense too. I liked what I saw from Cam this game. Every week, people are getting off these takes about Cam, which, like I already mentioned, are disingenuous and everything. We know that she had the ACL, that, you know, it takes time to recover from and everything like that. Like, I don't know. I feel like people should wait more so to do evaluation, at least like another season or 2, you know, fully healthy. So that's just the takeaways, because you see all the takes with that. But I thought Cam did some good stuff. And then we go into Courtney Williams, 10.8 minutes played. She had 9 points, 4 for 7 shooting, 1 of 2 from the 3, no free throws. She had 1 rebound and 4 assists, 2 steal, no block, 1 turnover, and 1 foul. Overall, I thought Courtney played a lot better than she did the first time, okay? And I think that the way that Noelle utilized her was a lot better when she started Rakia and she had Courtney come off the bench and play with the second unit. The Courtney and Paige minutes, I just don't feel like it works. You know, I don't like it. I like whenever Courtney plays with the second unit, because eventually she started to get some chemistry with them, and there was one nice play she had with Ricky and Cam, so I think she just is better playing with the second unit. I think she slowed down a lot more in this one, which, like I said, that was my problem in the first one, is that she was just playing too fast. And she had a turnover in this game that frustrated me, and then she had a 3 that she missed in transition, which I don't think was a great shot to take. So a few things that frustrated me, but overall I thought she played a lot better than the first game, and I think that this is the way that Noelle needs to utilize her going forward with the second unit. Okay, so hopefully, she takes heed to that. So we'll see, but I think it was better than the first time. That's kind of my takeaways there. And then Kate Martin did not play in this one, and Ari McDonald did not play in this one, okay? So now we go into the vinyl, okay? So Ray Burrell, 21.7 minutes played. She had 24 points, 8 for 20 shooting, 2 of 6 from the three-point line, 3 of 4 free throws. She had 3 rebounds, and she had no assists, 1 steal, no block, 2 turnover, 5 personal foul. She had some good stuff in this one. She had moments where she was able to fake out our players and go hit some good shots. So I'll give her credit for that. She plays hard, catching some dumb fouls for sure and everything. Like I said, she's a good piece off the bench, but did some good stuff, just not efficient really. Hamby, 15.9 minutes played. She had 9 points, 3 for 12 shooting, 0-3 from the 3, 2 of 3 free throws. She had 13 rebounds and 3 assists, 3 steal, no block, 1 turnover, and 3 personal foul. Just not her best day from the field. Part of that was the defense that we had, and then part of that was just her missing shots that she typically makes. So she'll be fine. Then we go on to Erica Wheeler, 16.9 minutes played. She had 19 points, 8 for 15 shooting, and that's going to be 3 of 6 from the 3, no free throw. She had 1 rebound total in this game, and no assist, no steal, no block, 2 turnover, and 5 personal fouls in this one. So she hit some good shots, hitting some open threes and finding other ways to score for real. And when Erica Wheeler is on, she can be a problem for sure. She got some dumb fouls though. She fouled Paige like 2 or 3 times back to back, and it just got to a point like, we doing anything, okay? Then we go into Brittany Griner, 12.7 minutes played. She had 4 points, 1 of 5 shooting, no threes, 1 of 2 free throws. She had 6 rebounds, and she had no assists, no steal, 1 block, no turnover, and 1 personal foul. Okay. And now that I'm thinking about it, I forgot to mention this, but there was a play in the game where Paige, I think she was trying to go like around the screen so she can contest raise 3, and then BG was holding her back, and that wasn't a foul. So I didn't understand that. BG had a good moment or 2 in this game, but yeah, didn't really do a whole lot, Sanaya, 4 minutes played, no points, 0-2 shooting, 0-2 from the 3. She had no free throws in this one, no rebound, and 1 assist, no steal, no block, 2 turnover, and no foul. So she didn't really play a whole lot. I thought she would have played more because they really could have used her at least defensively. So yeah. And then Ryan Howard didn't play in this game, so that would have definitely swung the pendulum different, because Ryan Howard can do everything on both ends, especially if she's having a good night. But Ryan Howard did not play in this game, okay? So I think she's like injured or something. And then we go into the scoring by quarter. So 20-22, 15-25, 19-19, and 2-11. Okay, ultimately Breeze wins 77-56. And then continuing on the team stats. So Breeze was 28 for 57 from the field, 49.1%. 9 3-pointers made in this one, 52.9%. 8 of 9 from the free throw line, 88.9%. 34 total rebound, 5 offensive, 29 defensive, 10 assists, 7 steal, 10 block, 7 turnover, and 11 foul committed. Okay. And then for the vinyl, 20 for 54 from the field, which is going to be 37%. 5 3-pointers in this game, 29.4%. 6 of 9 from the free throw line, 66.7%. And then 33 total rebounds in this one, 8 offensive, 25 defensive. You had 4 assists, 4 steal, 1 block, 10 turnover, and you had 14 fouls committed in this game, okay? And I should have said this earlier, but here's some graphics and everything that I have for Paige. One of them is just talking about, how she should be the MVP. So this is a tweet more so than a graphic, but I would agree with that. And she's just putting up some great stats, and I believe she leads in points per game for Unrivaled, so yes. And then this is a graphic of Paige and Rakia and just how dominant they were in this game, which I appreciated. And then the player of the game graphic for Paige, so I'll have that. So overall takeaways on this game, I still do think Noelle had some questionable rotations for sure in this game. I think that Rakia kind of covered some of that up and everything, and I think Courtney started to gel with the second unit at one point. So I think that was something there. Still, rebounding, still needing that, of course. And the defense can still improve, of course. And just the same things that I always say. And everything, like I said, them not having Ryan, that changes the complexion of this game for sure. But it was just good to see the Breeze gonna win because lost, 4 out of our last 5. So yeah, needed that. Rakia back was really helpful, like I already said, and all that stuff. So we'll see what happens as Breeze is trying to make the playoff push. So I think they had to win some of their final games to qualify for that. And we'll see how everything ends because we just lost, to the Hive or something like that in one of the recent games, which was really frustrating. And so with that, I don't know, we'll see how everything ends, but they should make the playoffs. So we'll see how everything goes. I'm just hoping Noelle's doing more of the stuff that she did in this game in the next games, and we'll see what happens with the playoffs and everything. But just excited to see how that goes and everything. Always love some Paige Bueckers basketball, of course. So yeah, I think for the most part it was an enjoyable game for us, you know, and needed that because the last game I really crashed out. Now we continue on, okay? So next game that I want to talk about is the Hive taking on the Rose, okay? So this is kind of out of order, but I will talk about the Phantom game too. But also known as Angel Reese's return game. Angel Reese is back on Unrivaled. I think that they've done some great promo and everything for her, but yeah, let's talk about the game. Let's talk about the game, okay? So Hive ultimately ends up winning this one 80-78. I think this was a very winnable game for Rose. But basically, Angel in this game, she played 10.8 minutes, had 13 points, 6 of 9 shooting, no threes attempted, 1 of 2 from the free throw line. She had 8 total rebounds in this one, no assists, no steal, no block. She had 1 turnover and 4 personal fouls. Overall, I think that Angel played really well. You just saw how impactful that she was, that 1-and-1 that she got, just the energy, the competitiveness, and just the drive that she has, and just making everyone around her better, and just always exciting to see the matchup with her and the other post on the other team on the floor. So I thought that she played really well and obviously showed her impact. And so it was just so great to get to see her score and get to just be Angel and do her thing, you know. So I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I don't know why she only played 10 minutes, okay? I feel like we should be talking more about the fact that Nola only played her 10 minutes. Because to me, that was really ridiculous. And the only reason she got to play in the fourth quarter was because Kalia Copper fouled out. So had that not happened, she wouldn't have touched the floor in the fourth quarter. And to me, unacceptable with all the positive stuff that she was doing on both ends of the floor. And, you know, we know that she's a really good defender too. So they certainly could have used that in the fourth quarter. But Angel, the return game, I needed that. And I went live for it on my TikTok. I still gotta post that, so hopefully I can get that out before I post this podcast and everything, but I enjoyed it. Also, I do want to say that I really like the connection with her and Chelsea Gray. Chelsea Gray getting her some good passes. And then also, I feel like Angel sets good screens for her too. So it's a really good tandem and just continuing on with that chemistry that they had in year one. Then we go on to Shakira Austin. So she played 16.8 minutes, 17 points, 7 for 10 shooting, no threes. 2 free throws. She had 9 rebounds, 4 assists, no steal, 2 block, 1 turnover, and 2 personal foul. Offensively, I thought she did some good stuff, you know, and efficient. So, yeah, the defense, that's a whole other thing. And then we go on to Kalia Copper. So 17.8 minutes played in this game. She had 29 points, 11 for 20 shooting, 2 5 from the 3, 2 3 free throw. She had 2 rebounds in this one, no assists, no steal, no block, 2 turnover, and she had 6 personal fouls, okay? Overall takeaways on her is I thought that she played extremely well in this one. You know, Kalia Copper, she's one of those players where when she's on, extremely hard to stop. And you saw that just being able to get to the cup and finish and score in a variety of ways for you. So that's what you saw from Kalia Copper. Just such an explosive performance in this game for sure. And so, yeah, there was a foul or two that they called on her that I thought was dumb. I swear there was one where like she tripped or somebody tripped and they called that a foul on her, which I didn't understand. And then there was just some other stuff. You can't commit those fouls. And then she fouled out in the fourth. So, yeah. And then we go into Chelsea Gray, 21.2 minutes played. She had 16 points, 7 for 15 shooting, 2 of 6 from the 3, no free throw. She had 8 rebounds in this one, 5 assists, no steal, 1 block, 3 turnover in this one, and 5 personal foul. Overall, like, I think she had a decent game. I think that she made some nice shots in this one. There were some other moments where it's just shots that she typically makes that she didn't. And there was one play, I forgot about this, but I think she was, like, trolling one of the players or whatever, and I think she missed the shot afterwards, and so, like, that's making the rounds right now on social. And she tried to do a behind the back pass, and then that was a turnover. So just like plays like that. But for the most part, she did, you know, more good than bad, obviously. That's the point guard. Then we're going to Lexi Hull, 7.8 minutes played. She had 3 points, 1 for 4 shooting, 1 of 2 from the 3, no free throw. She had 4 rebounds. And she had no assists, 1 steal, no block, no turnover, and 2 personal foul. Y'all know Lexi Hull don't move me, didn't do a whole lot in this game. And then that's everybody because Shook Sutton did not play and Angel came off the bench for this game, okay? Now we go into the Hive, okay? So Monique Billings, 13.7 minutes played. She had 18 points, 6 for 12 shooting, 1 of 1 from the 3, 2 of 2 free throw, 10 rebound, and she had no assists, 1 steal, no block, and 1 turnover, okay? So, like I said, Monique Billings in Unrivaled continues to be good, being in the right place at the right time on both ends. So, I think she played well. We go on to Sonia Citron, 18.1 minutes played. She had 10 points, 4 for 12 shooting, 0 4 for the 3, 1 of 1 free throw. She had 4 rebound, 2 assists, 1 steal, no block, and no turnover. So, not her best. And then Kelsey Mitchell, 19 minutes played, 27 points, 9 for 16 shooting, 3 6 from the 3, 3 of 5 from the free throw line. She had no rebounds in this one, and 3 assists, I believe, 1 steal, no block, and no turnover. The Kelsey Mitchell experience. She's another one like Kalia Copper. When she's on, you know, and just one of the best guards in the league for sure. And so just did her thing, scoring from a variety of ways. You cannot leave her open. You cannot leave her open because you're going to pay pretty much every single time. There was this one three that she got off, that was really difficult. She didn't have a whole lot of space to get that off, and I thought Kalia Copper did a really good job trying to contest that as much as she could. And, you know, I thought she played well overall in this game for sure. So shout out to Kelsey Mitchell, okay? And then On the bench, Anastasia Hive, 5.8 minutes played. She had 5 points, 2 of 6 from the field, 1 of 4 from the 3, no free throw. She had 3 rebound, and she had 1 assist, 1 steal, no block, and 2 turnover. Okay. So I think most of this was like in the first half at least. Like she had a couple good things, but y'all know I just haven't been moved by the Anastasia Hive experience in Unrivaled. And then we go to Ezzy Mabagor, 6.3 minutes played. She had no points, 0-1 shooting. She had no threes. 3 rebound total in this one, and 2 assists, no steal, no block, and 2 turnover, okay? And so, yeah, I think this is like her first or second game back, so I'll give some grace. And then Azare, okay, 11.5 minutes played, 20 points, 7 for 14 shooting, 3 of 7 from the 3, 2 of 2 free throw, 8 rebound, and 1 assist, no steal, no block, and no turnover. Azare revenge game was successful. Okay, this is how you do a revenge game. I'm still remembering Dinah Miller's revenge game against Minnesota and how she had more shot attempts than Paige, which was egregious, but that's beside the point. Okay, Azare played extremely well in this one. I've seen enough sparse games. Azare will have a game with 4 points, and then she'll have another game with 24 points. You leave her open from 3 enough times, it's over for you. She can hit 3. She's a stretch big. So I thought that she played well in this game, obviously. Scoring by quarter, 31-30 in the first, 22-18 in the second, 14-21 in the third, and 13-9 in the fourth. Okay, ultimately, Hive wins this one 80-78. And then we look at advanced statistics for the team. So for the Rose, 32 for 58 from the field, which is going to be 55.2%. 5 3-pointers made, which is going to be 38.5%. 5 of 7 from the free throw line, 71.4%. 32 total rebounds in this one, 5 offensive and 27 defensive. 9 assists, 1 steal, 3 block, 7 turnover, and 19 foul. Okay. And then for the Hive, 28 for 61 from the field, which is going to be 45.9%. 8 3-pointers made in this one, 36.4%. 8 of 10 from the free throw line, 80%. 31 total rebounds in this one, 8 offensive, 23 defensive. 9 assists, 4 steal, no block, 5 turnovers, and 12 fouls. Okay. So my overall takeaways on this game is that the loss is on Nola. Her rotations in this one was abysmal, and people are not talking about that and getting on her enough for that, okay? Because the entire thing, she had a rotation in this one. I think it was like Shakira and Ka, and then also I believe it was Lexi. I don't know what that was. That was a mess of a rotation and everything. And her rotations, like, no one's talking about that, okay? So, yeah, like, the fact that Angel only played 10 minutes, like I said, was criminal to me, okay? And nobody's talking about that as much as they should be. Everyone's talking about the refs. And the refs in this one weren't my favorite. You know, like I've said, the Unrivaled Sephora refs have been inconsistent, okay? For sure, and there was definitely some calls which I didn't necessarily get, and there was that one at the end of the game whenever they called foul on Angel and everything. A lot of people felt it was a clean steal. I can get why they called it that and everything, but I felt like there was a lot of other things that happened in the game that were more monumental in the Rose not winning the game, that it should have come down to that play and everything. And so I really, like I said earlier, I don't believe it comes down to one play. Like, there was other stuff that could have been done that would have prevented you from even getting to that point and stuff. So I feel like putting too much on the refs is completely ignoring the coaching stuff that, you know, was a bigger factor. That's what my point is, okay? So yeah, not some of my favorite calls and everything, but I don't know, like, that's all the talk that I'm seeing on this game, and I'm just like, we had other stuff that was more of a problem. Like I said, had Ka not fouled out, Angel would not have touched the court in that fourth quarter, and that was a huge problem, okay? They also gave up 8 threes, so the perimeter defense is not good enough. The rebounds, you would like to see more. If Angel would have played more, you would have got more rebounds for sure. These are things that we know. These are things that we know and everything. And so, yeah, Hive just did better, was able to do more, and that's what it is. So that's kind of some of my overall takeaways on that game, okay? And also Rose bad shot selection too as a team. I forgot to talk about that, but yeah. And then I got the last game that I'm going to cover this week. We got to the end. Okay, so we had the Phantom taking on the Laces. This one was too good not to cover, but this one happened before Angel's game. So the Phantom won 64-58, okay? So Aaliyah Boston played 19 minutes, had 16 points, 6 for 9 shooting, 0-1 from the 3, 2 free throw, 12 rebounds. She had no assists, no steal, 2 blocks, 3 turnover, and she had 6 personal fouls, okay? So for the most part, I thought she played well, you know, able to score at all areas of the floor for you in this one. I thought that her defense on the AT, she had AT in hell in this game, bro. There was one time she scored an AT and AT fell over, bro, and y'all know how I feel about AT, so that ate for me. So I will say that. And so, yeah, getting it done on both ends. The rebounding and everything had a double-double, so I thought it was good. I will say Aaliyah Boston with the fouls, they call her more for her fouls on Unrivaled. Like I said, that's why she has to play more ethically because they actually call her fouls. So she fouled in the fourth quarter again, mind you. And there was another game this season where it happened. I forget who they were playing, but she fouled out and then Kiki came in and got the game-winning shot, which is another thing that happened in this game too. But yeah. So I think having to be better about not getting in the foul trouble and everything because that was a huge thing. But overall, what she did on AT, we needed that. And because we didn't get that 1v1 because her and AT were supposed to face off and then that got canceled for whatever reason, like AT pulled out of that. And then she was supposed to face somebody else, and then they pulled out of that. So we were robbed of that. We were as viewers. So actually getting to see this kind of felt like the 1v1 we were supposed to get. And AB delivered on her part. So I felt she was going to win that one anyways. And like I said, when AB's not using the elbows and she plays more ethically, I don't have a problem with her because she doesn't need to do that dirty stuff to get her game off and everything. So in Unrivaled, it's just easier to watch. I'll say that. Then we wanted to pace. 14.6 minutes played in this one. She had 16 points, 10 for 12 shooting, 2 assists from the 3. No free throws. She had 3 assists in this one, 1 steal, 1 block, 1 turnover, and 1 personal foul. Overall, I thought that she played well. We know that she's going to flop, so that's 1. And 2, there was a 3 that she hit at the end of the game that was huge, okay? Because Laces were starting to go on a run, and you thought, are Laces going to be able to pull this one out? And she hit a huge 3. That was a silencer, so, got to give her the credit for that, okay? Kelsey Plum, 17.9 minutes played, 13 points, 6 for 13 from the field, 1 of 2 from the 3, 0-1 for the free throw line, 4 rebound, and she had 2 assists, no steal, no block, 3 turnover, and 2 foul in this one, okay? Hit some good shots. The turnovers, I wasn't pleased by that. I think all the turnovers came from her trying to get it to AB in the post, and she kind of just threw it over a few times. So that was frustrating, but overall, she had some good stuff. Able to score in the ball multiple ways. And I think it was this game where you saw her getting to her mid-range a little bit more in the fadeaway. And I want to see her do that more because every time I watch her play, she either drives or she takes threes. So I feel like that mid-range, I would like to see her dive into that more, at least for the next year, because I think that could be really beneficial to Kelsey Plum. But you guys know I'm a Kelsey Plum enjoyer, okay? I just hated that the last year she kept foul baiting in the W's. That's really it. But I enjoy Kelsey Plum a whole lot. We go into Natasha Cloud. 15.7 minutes played. She had 9 points, 3 for 8 shooting, 1 of 6 from the 3, 1 of 1 free throw. She had 7 rebound, and she had 2 assists, 1 steal, no block, 1 turnover, and 1 personal foul. Okay, not her best. Found other ways to contribute. Kiki Iriafin, 10.6 minutes played. She had 10 points, 4 for 7 shooting, 0-1 from the 3, 1 of 3 free throw, and she had 5 rebound in this one. No assist, no steal, no block, 3 turnover, and 2 personal fouls. Like I said, she's really found her groove and Unrivaled for sure. Okay, in the beginning she struggled, but she's been looking good. She came in, made the impact, and got the game winner for them again. Okay, hit some nice shots. So shout out to Kiki Iriafin. Dana Evans did not play, and Satu, as we know, is out. She didn't play the season because of the concussion that she sustained in the finals. Then we'll continue on to the Laces, okay? Brittany Sykes, 20.4 minutes played, 19 points, 8 for 18 shooting, 0-5 from the 3, 2-2 free throw, 7 rebound, 5 assists, 1 steal, no block, 2 turnover, and 5 personal foul, okay? So, yeah, she was doing what she could. Not her most efficient game, and we know she let the foul baby. She really don't get to the free throw line and Unrivaled a whole lot. But, yeah, she was one of the main ones, keeping them in the game. So I'll give her credit for that for sure. AT, 19 minutes played, 8 points, 3 for 7 shooting, no threes, 1 and 2 free throw, 8 rebound total, and she had 4 assists, 1 steal, no block, 2 turnover, and 3 personal foul. Moving on to Jackie Young, 18.2 minutes played, 23 points, 9 for 17 shooting, 3 of 6 from the 3, 1 and 2 free throw, no rebounds in this one. And she had 1 assist, I believe, no steal, no block, no turnover, and I think 1 personal foul, something like that. Jackie Young played well. A dynamic player, a strong player. I enjoy Jackie Young basketball. So shout out to Jackie Young. Okay, I enjoy her. Jordan Canada, she played 7.4 minutes. She gave you 2 points, 1 for 5 shooting, 0-1 from the 3, no free throw, and she had no rebound. And I believe she had 1 assist, no steal, no block, no turnover, and I think it's 1 personal foul or something. Jordan Canada on Unrivaled, not move. Stop taking anything, but all she takes is contested layups. I'm tired. Nas Hillman wasn't her best, 4 points, 2 for 10, so it just wasn't great. She had 7 rebounds, though, so that's something positive. And then Maddie, 3.3 minutes, she had 2 points, 1 for 2, so she didn't play a whole lot, okay? Scoring by a quarter, okay, 22-15, 16-14, 15-17, and 11-12. Ultimately, Phantom wins 64-58. And then we look at the team stats advanced metrics, okay? So 26 for 49 from the field for Phantom, 53.1% from the field. And then that's going to be fourth. And then looking at the team stats, so for the Phantom, 26 for 49 from the field, 53.1%. 4 3-pointers made in this one, 25%. 4 of 7 from the free throw line, which is going to be 57.1%. 35 total rebounds. Ooh, no easy fun. 5 offensive, 30 defensive, 7 assists, 2 steal, 3 block, 11 total turnovers, and they had 12 fouls committed. We look at the Laces, 24 for 59 from the field, 40.7%. They have 3 3-pointers made in this game, 16.7%. 4 of 7 from the free throw line, 57.1%. 29 total rebounds in this one, 8 offensive, 21 defensive, 11 assists, 3 steal, no block, 4 turnover, and they had 13 fouls. Okay. And I forgot to write down my overall thoughts on this one, but this was a good game. This was one of my favorite games of the Unrivaled season, and I definitely want to do a video at the end and just give my top 5 games. But it was so much fun. Phantom is really fun as a team to watch. Just the sharing of the basketball, creating a lot of good looks for each other. They can score, they can defend. Just a really good team. Just a really good team. So just really enjoyed this team and everything. And so, yeah, they did what they needed to do because they had an agenda for the Laces to lose. So day 8. I think that's some of my overall takeaways there. Just had more to give. On both sides of the ball and everything. There was a point they were kind of killing them in the beginning. And then, you know, the Laces staged a comeback, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. And they were ultimately able to get it done. So I might be forgetting certain things, but, you know, that was at least my overall takeaways on the game. So there is that. And yeah, I was really looking forward to doing this episode because we had so much to talk about. Like I said, game of the week in my opinion, South Carolina taking on LSU. They ate so bad with the promo for everything that they did. And like the commercial and all that stuff, just the atmosphere of this game was at LSU. I rewatched the game and it still ate. Like that game, yeah. And then you see Gamecock FC and LSU arguing and everything. Like Gamecock FC, when they're not saying some of the weird stuff that they say about injuries and everything, they're actually quite funny, bro. Like some of the stuff they were saying was literally frying me, and so we'll see what happens with both teams for the rest of the season and everything. But yeah. And then I'm really excited because, you know, the tournaments are about to start. You're going to see, like, the SEC tournament, and you're going to see Big East tournament, all that stuff. Right now, for the SEC tournament, I think South Carolina's going to win it. Vic Schaefer, like, Don always beats Vic. Vic beat Don once this year, and that was a really close game. So I feel like he's not going to get it done against Don in the SEC tournament or in the regular tournament. Okay, so I feel like Don is going to win the SEC tournament in South Carolina. And then, obviously, UConn for the Big East tournament. You have, the Big 10 tournament, the Big 12 tournament, so all that stuff, and then the actual tournament. So just really excited to keep, you know, doing the podcast every single week and talking about that and all the predictions. And opinions can change every single week. You know, sometimes teams look good in one game, and then, you know, you kind of just start to see the descent. I didn't talk about TCU in this one because, to me, they're not really worth talking about. No shade. Like, they just don't really move me in the game that I watched. I was bored by, so... And that's kind of some of my takeaways there, but you just see kind of how the teams, progress throughout the season, you know what I'm saying? And like how they grow, what are the different rotations they're doing, the players, do they have a bench, do they not, the coaching and all that stuff. Like there's so many little things that go into the games and like so much enjoyment and so much with the X's and O's that I'm learning every single week. And I just really enjoy doing this, you know, for you guys, and it's a lot of fun. So just thank you guys for downloading the podcast. We've officially reached over 100 total downloads. So thank you for listening. If it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, I appreciate that. Also, you know, rate this podcast. That would mean a whole lot. Let me know how I'm doing. You know, give me a little review and everything. Give me some feedback, any segments you guys want me to add and everything as well. But yeah, I think that is going to be it for this week for Anastasia's scouting report. Okay, excited to see you guys next week. It might be a little late. Hopefully I can get it done on time, but we'll see with that. You know, if you did enjoy this, if you're watching on YouTube, give it a like below. It helps me a lot. I very much appreciate it. You can also subscribe to this channel so you see more of these every single week. And then if you hit the bell, you get notified every single time that I post one of my reviews, like any video or this, so you guys get notified right when it happens. Just make sure you also turn it on for YouTube on your phone so you get the notifications and stuff. And then you guys can also, you know, share this to anybody who has enjoyment of women's basketball. I would appreciate that too. And everything. Like I said, you can rate it on Spotify and everywhere else where you guys are listening to this. That would mean a whole lot. All my social medias are going to be linked down below, okay? So I have my other YouTube channel, which I do music stuff on. I got to post on there again. I do have Twitter. I have TikTok. And I made a other account that I'm posting more on, sort of, kind of, because my other account's still shadow banned by TikTok, essentially. So I have that link down below as well. I'm on Threads, so you guys can check me out on Threads. I have an Instagram account, like a personal one, and then one where I post my basketball stuff on. Like all my social media would be linked down below if you guys wanted to find other ways or my other platforms and everything. Just always important to promote everything. And I said this on a community post, but thank you guys so much for 2.5K subscribers. Just, it's been a lot of fun to talk about this, to grow the channel. Just a lot of enjoyment I have for this. It's a grind editing this every week. It's literally hell. It's literally hell, but just so much fun, you know? And there's always stuff that I forget to talk about every single week on these, but that's what the next episode's for. That's what the next episode's for. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of all this stuff down below, and I will see you in the next one.